Ladies and gentlemen, the end of an era, Kamino, the end of a season, the Bad Batch, and possibly the end of this show, but we will see. But with that, Brandon, Bailey, let's get into this. Can you guys believe it? Episode 16. We've been doing this 16 weeks, a little over 4 months. End of Kamino. Here we are, our last episode of the Bad Batch for season 1. And it happened so fast. I went back and I was looking at some of the old streams, and you guys were talking about, we only have 9 episodes. It's going to go fast. This, that, and the other. Shockingly, it did exactly do that. It went super fast. So for you guys, for everybody in the chat, welcome to the last episode of the Bad Batch Breakdown with Brandon and Bailey, at least for this season. As everybody, I'm hoping is well aware, this is going to be our audience participation call-in show. I'll be giving a little bit more information on that in a couple of minutes, but if you have a camera and you have a mic and you want to come in and tell us your thoughts on the Bad Batch, we'd love to have you. So start thinking about that. But with that, don't let me get ahead of myself here. Let me start off as we always do on the Bad Batch Breakdown. Bailey, how are you doing, ma'am?
I am doing well. It is very humid here in Tatooine, as you can tell. But I'm doing great. It's, it hasn't sunk in that this is like the last stream. Uh-huh. I mean, because if you count our primer, this is actually 17. So.
Oh, yeah. That's right. Yeah, we did a primer. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So, yeah, I'm doing great, and I'm excited to see where this show takes us.
Well, you know what? Hopefully it's a fun but yet still bumpy and exciting ride. We shall see. Brandon, over to you, my friend. How are you doing on this last episode of the Bad Batch Breakdown? Good to see you.
Doing pretty great. Things are amping up. I'm going to be coaching football soon, so it's exciting part of the time of the year.
Good for you. That's good to hear, man. You get to get back and start mixing it up with them kids and remind them who's boss over there. I'm still bigger than you, boy. That kind of thing. Yeah, I know.
I do that too, even though I'm small.
Even though the ones you're talking to, Bailey, you're looking up at me.
I mean, I do have someone who could vouch for me, so hopefully he'll tell you, yeah, I can assert my dominance in a classroom if need be.
So I think Brandon and I have been doing this long enough that we don't have any doubt that that's the case, man. I'm not going to lie.
Oh, yeah. But,
all right.
That happened.
Well, let's get this show on the road before Brandon falls out of his chair and we have to send 911 over to pick him up.
Where's the me? That must be a new one. Isn't it supposed to say help me?
No,
I think it always said help. Yeah, I think it always just said help.
Oh,
yeah.
That should be laminated.
All right, nice. All right, let's get over to the comments and see who is joining us. It is hopping already, you guys. Oh, my goodness. Let's take a look here. Oh, Mando Clips has changed his name to Mando Animations. We are moving up in the world, my brother. Good to see you. Hey, G-Force. Hey, always good to see you, man. There. See, now we can kick things off. Chat legend Gilster's in the house. PB and Ewok. That's what I'm talking about. And there's the Brandon Looney Tunes fan 2000. What's up, Doc? Right? Oh, let's go down here. Uh-oh. Hold on. Hold on. Dino, please tell us you've seen the episode because we're going to be spoiling some things, okay? I don't want to see. Uh-oh, what happens? All right, there's Chris. Good to see you, Chris. Chris and Brandon just came off of a 3.5-hour peg warmer stream. I'm impressed, you guys. Well, I don't mean to downplay that, but you guys, here's my daughter.
I saw that too.
That's my daughter. Oh my God, hold on. Hey, Lane, it's good to see you. Yeah. So for those of you who don't know, I joke about it. Hold on, I'm gonna be okay. I don't ever expect she's busy. I don't ever expect to see her. She's your guys' age, Brandon and Bailey. She's 25 years old. She lives in Portland. She's got a job. She's in the industry like you guys are. And so she's busy. And for her to drop by, that's really cool. So thanks, Lane. It's good to see you. You get old, you start missing your kids and stuff like that. So anyway, Jason, it's good to see you, man. How are you doing? You know what, G-Force? Yeah, you know what? Y'all better come back next season. We are definitely going to have a talk after this, and we'll see where we go with that. Jason, another question. Will you be reviewing? Hold on. There we go. Will you be reviewing other Star Wars? You know what? All of this is up in the air. We just want to get through this one and not get banned from YouTube for having crazy people on. but still want to have some fun people, and we'll see where we go from there. Tonight's whiskey on ice night too, so it should be fun. Let's oh boy, let's get on down here. I think I hit it. Oh, there we go.
Yep.
She isn't wrong.
So he can vouch.
Oh, hey, Brandon, you need to get Matt's address and mail him one of those help me signs.
Actually, no, I think Matt is okay with it because he and I are kind of the same. We can silence a room if need be.
Oh, okay. All right, fair enough. Hey, there's Galinorian Saber. I remember him from back in the day on the old Beyond the Blast Force Connect show. Good to see you, man. Oh, there we go. Josh.
Hey, Josh.
I'm so excited Josh is here. Yeah, Mando on his name. It's kind of better. You know what? I liked clips too, but animations is kind of highbrow. Good for you. And let's get on down here. We're winding up. Okay, good. So, yeah, I watched yesterday. Okay, what I don't need is a very fit, healthy, strong individual upset with me at any point. That's just not. You know what I'm saying? Like, where do you live, Taylor? I'm coming. So there. I'm here because Robert sent me inside joke. 79 stranger. Anybody know? Okay, well, none of us got it, 79, but we're still happy to have you here. Thank you so much, sir. Linda, last time I get to see you and talk to you. And then, of course, Bailey and Brandon. All righty. All right. As I mentioned, Kamino Lost, the finale audience call-in show. So here's how this is going to work. We're going to talk about the episode for just a brief little moment of time here because I got a couple of questions for these guys. I got to get off my chest. And then I'm going to throw the link up in the chat, and we'll have you guys in one at a time. And what I'm going to ask you to do is when you come in, the ground rules are this. Obviously, as you know, this is we're kind of a dignified, maybe that's not the right word to use, but we keep it civil here. And we also try to keep this so that, if people have kids in the room, they can watch it. So we try to keep the cussing to a minimum, even though Brandon and I screw up on a regular basis. Yeah. So just kind of keep that in mind when you decide whether or not you want to come in, but I'll ask you to give me a 1 to 10 on the whole series and then tell us why you gave it that ranking for a little while. And then Brandon and Bailey obviously will jump in and get some conversation going there. And I am making my Dino Machino protein pancakes right now. I could pop in and say, all right, Dino, we're going to start that portion up here in just a little while. But with that, like I said, Kamino Lost, episode 16, finale. Brandon, I'd like to start with you. We talked about this earlier. A little bit of a monologue on the whole episode. Tell us where you thought this episode was 1 to 10, kind of good, bad. Just hit it, brother. What you got for us?
For this episode alone, I'm going to say a 5 out of 10. I can see that, especially after the last episode being almost perfect. This episode definitely, I wasn't expecting a crazy cameo or anything, but I definitely wasn't expecting what we got. I still enjoyed it, and there were a couple really touching moments that I enjoyed. But yeah, I mean, they set it up, obviously. I still feel like this was kind of it could have been one episode combined with
last one in this one? Okay.
One in this one kind of combined.
Okay.
I know they're just like it's part 1 and part 2, but it's like, yeah, they're very different episodes. And it just, especially after the last episode, this just kind of dipped off. And I know that we're heading for a second season, and I'll be interested to see what they do with that. But not gonna lie, the season finale, kind of was a letdown for me. It was just okay.
That kind of thing.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
But yeah, I did enjoy it, and there were a couple moments like seeing the cloning tubes, actually be destroyed, and watching Kamino sink, that it actually kind of, oh yeah, there they are. I was like, what is he doing? I was like,
it's the thinking clone.
Your helmets. I know you're a helmet, but like, no, I see it now.
Okay.
No, there were some things that I enjoyed about it.
You know what? I don't think you're too far off from what I thought about that. They could have combined the two and just made it a 15 thing, but whatever. Before we go over to Bailey, I'm going to announce the winner of the predictions contest. And because I can do this because it's my show with these two being the stars, of course, I'm declaring a draw. You guys, Brandon, Bailey, you guys both, your predictions last episode were so good. You guys did such a good job. Brandon, the main thing you predicted, no cameo. Bailey and I got that wrong. They had to get out on their own. So, but you got that one. And Bailey, You said something that resonated with me last episode, and boy, did it actually come true. You predicted an encapsulated episode. We're all going to be jammed together in a tight space. You said possibly a spaceship or something like that, and we're going to have to work stuff out. See, I'm paying attention now, Brandon. I didn't see. And so consequently, and then the rest of it, they escape, this and that and the other. Such a good job. So it's a tie. You guys did a great job on the predictions. I'm very proud of you. Excellent work. But with that, Bailey, let's get back over to you, ma'am. 1 to 10 on this episode and kind of give us a monologue, goods, bads, what you thought of this one.
I am with Brandon 100% on this one. This is also a 5 out of 10 for me. And I've been tossing it in my head ever since I watched it yesterday. I don't know if it's because we were given the news that there was going to be a season 2, and like that already kind of cuts the suspense. Like, we know everyone's going to make it out okay. I don't know if that was the reason why, but like I agree with Brandon. There was nothing in this episode that happened where I was, wow, this warrants a part 2. Like, to me, it just seemed like it could have just been one, like, 45-minute, hour-long episode. Not a whole lot happened. I was hoping for that cameo because just to, like, spice things up, because honestly, it just kind of felt flat for me for a finale, because it's like, you go in there, like the Empire just kind of leaves, they're just like, all right, they're dead. And so there wasn't much of a, like an altercation. It was more like, they needed to get out of this drowning facility. And like, yeah, that's like intense, but it's like, that was pretty much it. And again, they're going to make it out okay, because we know there's a season 2 and they're all going to live. So it just like, yeah, there was action, and it wasn't a bad episode. Like, it was watchable, it's enjoyable, but in terms of like, there was no suspense, nothing really pulled me. It was very predictable, Linda. I do agree with that. And that's it. Really wasn't much of a cliffhanger. Besides, I am surprised, Crosshair was kind of dumped at the end and didn't go with them. But besides that, it was like, oh, this is kind of flat.
Anticlimactic.
Yeah, it was like the Luke Skywalker coming in at the end of Mando. That's a finale.
Yeah, right. That's how you got.
But this was like, I don't know. Like, if it was a beverage, it would be a flat soda.
Oh, that's good. I like that.
Very one note. So yeah, and I'll just leave it at that. It was a 5 out of 10. It wasn't terrible, but it wasn't great. And for a finale, they probably should have done. They could have amped it up, or they could have just not mentioned a season 2 until afterwards, because yeah.
I think they should have saved the announcement like they did for Book of Boba Fett, because at the end of Mandalorian they said, and then Book of Boba Fett. I was like, oh my god, and I wasn't even drunk. Really quick, there's Darth. Oh, that's not Darth Mark. There we go. This is Darth Mark. Good morning, Mark. It's good to see you. And he does not mince any words. Yeah, and you know what, Josh? I hope you're ready with your camera and mic, because you need to come in here and talk. So, because you make some good points, but still, I wanted a Luke moment. Bailey, you touched on something. You guys also predicted, and I was wrong. I refused to pick somebody, but I just knew they were going to kill somebody at the end of this thing. When that robot, AZ or whatever his name is, was sinking, I was like, I'm going to get him. I'm going to get him. They were wrong. And then Crosshair decides to do the right thing. So, got you on that one. You guys won that one too. Nobody died. Just sit there and gloat. I know. Yeah. Just look at him smirk at me, you guys. Just, yeah, Taylor, because we know what we're doing. So, Brandon, back over to you. Bailey mentioned something, but we're going to touch on later. But I wanted to ask 2 questions, and I thought I had a third one in my head, but I've also got whiskey in my head, so I'm not remembering everything perfectly.
You didn't write it down or anything?
Oh, come on, man.
Write it down.
I didn't even get any pictures for this episode. We're going to go through this. The fun for me is going to have people on. I did very little prep for this one. How about that? Because I took a vacation on this one, okay? I've worked hard enough for very little pay. But Brandon, the chip. Boy, did they just gloss right over that. Now, I think I know what your answer is going to be, because there was an exchange between Omega and Crosshair. But what's up? Is he got a chip or not? What do you think?
I am, until they give me something that says he has it or not, I'm still going to believe that he has one, even though they're making it seem like he doesn't. But the way that they staged it with Omega was like, I thought it was the chip making you an asshole, but
Right, yeah. But you're just an asshat anyway, yeah.
yeah.
So everybody in the chat, ignore Brandon. He's using language that we don't use around here. We don't say asshat and asshole. Oh, wait. Yeah, we do.
Yeah. Hey, you always say PG-13. That's
Oh,
fine.
that's fair. Yeah. I
Yeah,
think ass is okay,
yeah.
considering
Yeah.
I am one, but go.
Yeah. They they easily stage it like that's all they need to say about that. So
Right.
I still think he has the chip, and I think it'll be a future plot device.
Fair enough. Really quick, Gaming Lizard, good to see it. Appreciate you jumping in. Darth Muzza, excuse me, all the way from Australia, jumped in a little earlier. Good to see you too. Yeah, there you go. Linda knows. Yeah, hey Muzza, because the poor Australians got to stick together. We won't get into politics, but damn, what's going on down there right now? I feel bad for them. Lefko says no chip. Bailey, what did they just gloss over it? You had to pay attention to even get any information. Crosshair, chip or not chipped?
I feel like he still has the chip in there, because there were moments where they like the same thing like they did with Wrecker for like 4 straight episodes, where they're just like, oh, like my head, like I just keep like the touching and the stroking of the head, and he's like having to take a knee, and it's like, okay, he probably has the chip. And I think we said like in the last one, like there's really no indication on his head that actually happened. In the very beginning of the show, we saw the Empire amplify the chip. We didn't see them take it out. So I think he's still chipped, just because I don't know. But then again, I've been fooled before, so it's hard to say. But I'm gonna go with that he still has the chip.
Okay, so assuming we come back for a second season, this is safe for posterity. One of the main questions I want to answer is chip or no chip. I'm going to go out on a limb here, just because I just want to be contrary to you two, so we get a little bit. I think the chip is gone, and they were somehow or another they had to remove it because of his injury or whatever. I'm going to go with Linda that he was just born an asshat, like she just said, and that the chip is in fact gone. He had it taken out. I'm not even going to speculate when, but he had it taken out. And then next season, hopefully they'll answer that question for us. What do you guys think? Is that cool?
Yeah.
Okay. So we talked about how this was kind of a flat soda, Bailey. Excellent analogy, by the way. I got a Coke. Kind of tastes like Coke, but yeah. So we talked about how this was a flat finale. And the end kind of left me like, but the specific question I have for you guys, Brandon, back over to you, brother. That way. Brandon, back over to you. We all of us predicted in some form or fashion that Crosshair was going to have to be with them, work some stuff out, realize the Empire just tried to kill them all and stay with them. But they left him behind. Did that catch you by surprise, or what did you think of that?
No, especially with the way that they were going at it, and they just kept last episode and this episode very much like he's on a different path than us. We have very different attitudes about this, and just that last little moment between Wrecker and Crosshair and then Hunter and Crosshair, where Wrecker was just like, you didn't even try to come back to us, we still would have taken you. Yeah. But it's like that wasn't at all Crosshair's plan. Like he's still pissed off that they left him, but he wouldn't want to go back to him anyway because they don't follow the orders. Yeah. So no, I'm not. I wasn't necessarily surprised that he didn't just join back up, which I'm actually glad that it wasn't everything's okay. But they left it with that, like, we don't need to be enemies, even if we don't agree. Mm-hmm. So,
yeah, because I know a lot of people said that was going to upset them if at the end of this they all built a campfire and roasted marshmallows and hugged it out. I expected them to still be together, but I expected him to be sitting over in the corner like, somebody look at me wrong, and I'm going to tear some. You know what? I thought he was going to turn with his rifle when he saved the droid too, and they're all pointing guns at him. He's like, here. So, of the available options, I will take we're leaving you behind as opposed to kumbaya, my bad batch, kumbaya. I don't want any of that. So, Bailey, they left the guy behind. Did that catch you by surprise? Did you see it coming? You're a writer. What's up?
No, because they need something to carry them into season 2. I feel like they need something to start us with, and being separate, I think, is a good leeway into that. And it didn't surprise me because it's like, as Tech has mentioned in the episode is Crosshair is just relentless and stubborn, and he is, as Brandon said many times last week, he has drunk the Kool-Aid and it's not going away. So him being not with them was not surprising.
Okay.
I just think it was a plot device. It's like, we need to make a season 2, so here we go.
It. So I think the more I thought about it, this is the way I reconciled it with me. We need different levels of bad guys. First of all, you got the Empire. Straight up bad guys. They're just, the straight evil antagonists. Then you got junior antagonists. I'm counting Crosshair. I'm counting Sid in there. I'm counting Ming-Na Wen, who was the bounty hunter that she played. Fennec Shan. Thank you. I'm cool. It's not too much whiskey. And then we have good guys. So there's different levels. And so they left him out there for that reason. But I just wanted to show you guys something. This is one of my most favorite exchanges in the comments right now. Linda, if 2 people could fit in a tube, wouldn't it be obvious a soldier would pair up with the child? David. Yeah, Linda, that was dumb as a bag of left-handed hammers. I don't understand why they put the kid by herself either, you guys. Thank you. So, oh my God. And then, of course, Lane, Crosshair's alteration seemed to leave him without the heart we see in other clones. Yeah, that's a wow. Lane, that's a good way to put that. So, and then as always, we always do this and stop for a moment. Scuba Pete's in the house. Let's see what's up with Scuba Pete. Oh my God. So Brandon, kind of sum it up. The whole thing, the questions I just asked you, your thoughts on the first episode. Are you excited for next season because of what you've seen? And if so, why?
I mean, yeah, I'm always excited, especially since it really is a continuation of an era that I love, even though we just watched the prequels kind of just die.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it's transferring from the era that I grew up with and love so much into another area that I want to see explored more. More of the transition to the Empire, more of that kind of stuff, the formation of the rebellion, which, I think we're obviously going to see some of in season 2. We'll see major players like Bail Organa. And then I think we'll get more crime syndicate stuff, especially since now that we've had the whole first season, those seeds were just planted. So It's not like it was just a waste. They'll definitely come back in season 2. So, yeah, I mean, was I blown away? Not really by this season. Were there moments that I absolutely loved? Yes. Were there episodes that I absolutely loved? Yes. But it's kind of disappointing that I didn't absolutely fall in love with it like, I did some of the other stuff. Like Rebels, I loved Rebels, and even the early season stuff. I can appreciate what they do with that because they do build the characters so well. And this, I sent Bailey a text just a little bit ago.
Oh my gosh!
Uh-oh.
And
it was a picture, and I don't know if you can pull that up, Bailey.
Oh yeah, I'm pulling it up. Please hold.
Please, she said, "Please hold." Please hold.
But the character development. So it's
right. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
And that's it. The character development was very superficial, very, very superficial, and that's what I have a hard time with. And I understand it's just the first season of the show, but I feel like we got a little bit ahead of schedule because we've had these characters in something in the past with season 7 of the Clone Wars, and because we've had clones just for so long in general as well. So that's just where I've been a little bit. Yeah. And I understand that the first season of anything is kind of hard. And you have to have those building blocks. So I do look forward to season 2, and hopefully that will blow us away.
Good for you, Brandon. Once again, you prove time and again why I have you on here. Very articulate, very hope-filled answer to that question. And I'm in all seriousness, I appreciate that. Bailey, over to you. Same question. Follow Brandon on that, and good luck, because man, he hit it.
Well, I'm actually not. My thoughts aren't too far off from his. I think I said in the very beginning, even like before we did our primer, I did a video with you, just kind of expressing my initial thoughts on where I thought the show was going to go.
Cautiously optimistic.
Cautiously, and I don't think my feelings really changed throughout the show. You know, now that it's done, it's like I wasn't blown away by it either. And we understand that this is season 1 of something, you know, larger. We know that now. But even when I watched the first season of Clone Wars and Rebels, like I immediately, like I fell in love with all those characters. Like there was, you know, a lot of plot going on. Even like the more filler episodes were entertaining to me because they built on these characters. It wasn't like the one where we were all just kind of sitting here like, why does this episode exist?
Right.
And
does it go here?
Yeah, does it go here? So yeah, and you know, we've talked about, and I'm not saying that like, you know, not every episode of Clone Wars and Rebels was my favorite either. So I don't want anyone to think that I put those other 2 shows on a pedestal and, you know, and critique this show harsher in any way. That's not true. I view them all in the same lens as best as I can. But with this one, I don't know. This show kind of like took some elements that I really enjoyed in Clone Wars and kind of twisted it, you know, like the whole like regs thing and like there was a lot of stuff that bothered me that was like really embellished in the show. The character development was very one-dimensional. I felt like Echo was like sidelined, and I don't know. There was, you know, you guys know, like if you watch the last 16 episodes of this, you know what my grievances are. But that doesn't mean I hate the show in any way. It just, you know, like I'm hoping season 2 will surprise me and blow me away. I want to be proven wrong, but right now it's like when I think about, do I want to rewatch this show again? I think I would only rewatch the 3-4 episodes I really enjoyed. Mm-hmm. As of now. I mean, there's only 16 episodes, you know, same with Clone Wars and Rebels. Like if somebody was like, hey, which episode should I watch? I don't have the attention span to watch all of them. I would give them cheat sheets. Like, yeah, because, you know, there are some episodes of Clone Wars I won't rewatch or Rebels, but I still love them. But with this show, I think I only thoroughly, truly enjoyed 3-4 of those episodes. And again, I don't want anyone coming and saying, like, I despise this show, because believe me, in my course of doing this, I've gotten burned really bad. Like, so it's like, I don't want anyone saying that I'm like a hater or scary in any fashion. It's just, I'm being honest. This show didn't blow me away, and I want it to. So we'll see what happens.
Well, Bailey, you bring up some excellent points. And I don't think anybody at the end of the day, outside of joking and messing with you a little bit, especially me and Brandon treating you like a little sister sometimes.
I mean, you guys know me off camera, though.
Right.
We're like, I don't know.
Yeah. I don't think at the end of the day, anybody can, in good conscience, completely disagree with you. Obviously, there'll be nuances because you pretty much summed up my feelings about this show as well. Now, for probably different reasons. You already got to get over a hump with us old guys on the animation and stuff like that, because, as it is, I'm watching this and my wife walks in and she's like, "Are you watching cartoons?" I'm like, "Go to work. I'm busy." You know what I'm saying? So, but I appreciate your not your levity, your candor in that matter. And you know what? This is a critique show, and I have you two guys here for a reason, because you can be polite, you can be pleasant, but you guys both have articulate, in-depth minds when it comes to this stuff, and you can catch the nuances and things. And Brandon's just going to keep cracking up, and I know, but I mean it, my brother. I mean it. Sometimes I got to drag the answers out of you because you get there and you're like, oh, the whoa, but because it just overwhelms you. But anyway, it's been a blast, you guys. Let's go through some of the comments really fast. Bailey, you two know, both of you, Brandon, you two, you guys know you're my people, and I love you both, and it has been great doing this show with you. So,
oh yeah.
Yeah. And I'm happy that both of you are willing to get on here in front of God, the world, and everybody, and all 3 people that watch us on a regular basis and just be honest. It takes, you guys don't realize it because you do this so much. And I'm a narcissistic fool, so I don't realize it. But it takes a lot of guts to get on a screen in front of a camera and tell the world your feelings about something. So kudos to you guys. Congrats. So, but with that, I'm gonna bring it back down a little bit from all the seriousness here really quick. There's the best looking guy on the internet, Gary Moore, followed closely by Josh, who's in the comments. Oh my God, it's Matt. Hey, Matt, good to see you, brother. Bailey, this is for you. Oh, I don't think so. This was kind of a bottle episode, which we could have used earlier in the season. The last 2 episodes had more dialogue, and the main cast to process the events in the whole season.
Yeah.
Bailey?
I would agree. I think, and I think we mentioned this in the last one, is they jammed a lot. And that's why I think, as Brandon and I said, they could have just melded the 2 parts together. Because I feel like they front-loaded a lot in the first part, and then the second one was like, and the end. So, yeah, I'm in agreement. So I think they had to wrap things up and just gave us a lot.
Yes, they did.
I would agree.
So we'll go from that to Salacious. Salacious wants to argue with Bailey and have a massive bust up just so that we can make up after it.
I'm confused.
Oh, so that's because the Kawaki and Monkey Lizard Army, they're nuts. I don't know if you've watched Salacious Rum's channel, but they're all nuts. And Salacious Rum is actually in the hospital right now. He's got Pilly Yum Yum and some monkey lizard that sounds like he's from the deep heart of Alabama on his channel right now, and they're weird, and I love them. So Salacious, April, not Salacious. That was either Pilly or something. But anyway,
good luck, Salacious. Because
oh yeah, it might be. Yeah, and then I don't even know how their handler Bob does it. Brandon,
it's awesome.
Yeah,
I love it. I'm sad I didn't get one of the monkey lizards while I was at Disneyland.
All right, yeah. So we're gonna go ahead and move on, you guys. Brandon, before I do that though, did I miss anything? Anything you wanted to say? Anything you wanted to get out before I?
No,
I'm done. You sure?
I think
okay. Because all right, you're not done talking, but the monologue part of it's.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep, I think
Bailey, did you get to say everything about this episode you wanted to?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Bring it on, people.
Bring it on. She said, "Bring it on, people." All right. Let's see if this works. Okay. Oh, it says Facebook. Did I just put that in the Facebook chat? Brandon, can you see in the YouTube chat if I did it right?
Yeah, you're good.
Okay. It showed up in the YouTube chat also?
Yeah.
Okay, good. All right, so here's the deal. At this point, we're going to move on to the audience participation part. Oh, wait, there's John. Good to see you. And what a show. Yep. Josh knows. All hail the Monkey Lizard King. Wow. That is awesome. I'm going to tell you something right now, you guys. If you've ever raised a child, if you've raised a child right. If she's on time for something, ladies and gentlemen, people in the chat, I would like you to introduce you to our very first guest of the evening. First in here, this is my daughter, Lane.
Hello.
Hello.
Lane.
I'm so excited that I made it for the last episode, at least. I honestly didn't actually know that you were doing this. I saw it pop up, but I didn't process it.
Nice. Well, it is good to see you, Lane. I so appreciate you supporting your silly father's Star Wars endeavor. So thank you very much.
I mean, you raised me on it, so I don't really think it's silly.
Raising a daughter right. That's what I did, ladies and gentlemen. So, and I love the Grogu Baby Yoda in the background, Lane. Yeah. Wow.
Gotta represent.
Would somebody please explain to me how I'm old enough to have a 25? Are you 26 or 25 now, Lane?
What? I'm 25.
Okay, yeah, born in 96 and 5. Okay, yeah, all right, yeah. Math was never my strong point. You know that, girl. Oh my God. So, Lane, I'd love to sit here and reminisce and talk to you for the next 3 hours, but everybody would leave the stream. Bailey and Brandon would disown me. So we'll get onto this. I know last night you get family privilege. I don't care how many of these you've watched, but you said you hadn't watched the entire season.
I was at season 9 or episode 9. I didn't realize I had gotten so far. And so I finished it all today. Gonna be completely honest, the last 2 episodes I was scrolling through Pinterest because it was I just completely lost focus, and I was why am I have to watch this. I'm watching this for a reason, pay attention, Lane. And I was why is this so boring though? What is about these 2 episodes that just aren't hooking me? I was so into it for all the other ones, even the one with Hera, and I was this is not even about the Bad Batch. Why?
That's what we said too, Lane. Oh my God, yeah.
Yeah.
So Bailey has a question for you as far as your number. Go, Bailey.
I do.
Yeah, 1 to 10. Come on, girl. You've been here the whole time. Yeah, what are we doing again?
Well, I mean, okay, so if you were to rate the show on a 1 to 10 scale, the entire thing, what would you give it?
I was thinking about that. I feel somewhere like a 6.5 or a 7, and I know that probably feels really critical, but like I grew up watching Clone Wars, so the animation style is really like it feels nostalgic to me because it's like all those same characters again. I loved it. I was like, yes. It was hard for me to get into the other. Oh my gosh, I'm forgetting the name. The other one because the animation was different.
Clone Wars or Rebels?
Rebels.
Okay, Rebels.
Because the animation style was so different. But it just felt like it was missing a lot of the heart and soul that like I wanted. And like you had said, like we've seen Clone Force 99, and then I wanted more. And I felt like they tried to incorporate too much into this season of like, oh, look, this explains when we transition from clones to stormtroopers, and like, oh, and this explains where this comes from. And there was too many of like, we're going to throw this in and this in and this in. We're going to tie it to the Mandalorian, and we're going to tie it to this, and we're going to put these people in here. And I was like, no, they just like pick two. What's going on?
Right. Yeah. Brandon, what do you think of what do you think of what Lane has to say on that? Is she nuts? Do you see some of that?
No, not at all. And it's awesome to know that, you know, you were raised with Clone Wars and Star Wars too. I love it.
Yeah. Lane was born in 96. So 3 years old when same age as you guys basically, when Phantom Menace came out, and then it's all downhill from there basically. So
Meanwhile, my dad would cry if he had to talk Star Wars to me.
So Lane, I don't know if you've heard us talk about this. Bailey's dad and I were coworkers before we both retired because we're old, and he doesn't know nothing about Star Wars. And so he was telling me one day on the phone, he's like, you like Star Wars, right, Paul? I'm like, yeah. He goes, you know what? My daughter cried at like the end of The Mandalorian. I'm like, who does that? Send her my way. That's my people right there. So
the glass over the eyes is very real with him. I'm sure they regret it. I'm sure they do. Now I have it tattooed on my body, and I know they look at me like a freak of nature. So it's like, it's funny.
Speaking of which, Bailey, is it showable yet? Check this out, Lane.
I think she's seen it.
Oh, wait. You know what? Hold on. Watch this. It will do this really quick. And pow, there you go, Bailey. Look at that.
I'm so sorry, guys. I'm not doing this justice, but we got Obi-Wan just healed. We got Ahsoka, Luminara, and Anakin Skywalker.
That's
amazing.
Awesome. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Lane, you don't have any tattoos, do you?
No, not yet. I haven't been ready for like that, but not yet.
All right. So my question for you, Lane, is do you, now that you've watched The Bad Batch and caught all up on it, and it was kind of mediocre but not bad, are you looking forward to next season? And if so, or if not, why or why not?
I am looking forward to next season. I'm really hoping that they sort of give us some answers. I still have so many answers about Omega. Honestly, like if they don't fix what's going on with Crosshair, like I didn't like him when they first introduced him, and then it just got worse, and now it's gone downhill. And I'm like, all right, you got to fix it, or he's just dead to me. Like that's it. Crosshair's dead for.
You're dead to me.
But like, I obviously am looking forward to another season. I personally, in my own bias, would love to see Ahsoka again. Like, if we could see Fulcrum come through again, because Rex was in there, and I was like, oh, maybe. So that's my hope.
Nice. Lane, from a personal perspective, I'm just so excited that I got a chance to see you because it was awesome for you to get involved, come by tonight and support your silly father. So it means more to me than you will know. And I'll tell everybody in the stream and everybody that's on screen right now. Thank you so much. I greatly appreciate it. You're awesome for doing this with me.
Glad to be here. I'm so glad I could say hello.
Absolutely. With that, Lane, did we miss anything? Was there anything else you needed to tell us about this show or what you thought of some of the characters before I on to the next person?
No, I'm good.
Well, that was just too easy. All right, then. Brandon, Bailey, you guys got any questions for Lane at all?
No, besides thank you. It's so nice to have another girl on here express similar thoughts, because I cannot tell you, Lane, how many DMs and whatnot I've gotten over the course of doing this, of people tell me how wrong I am. They appreciate my strong opinions, and then they just like go for the. So thank you. It is very nice to see another girl, especially one roughly our age, who like gets it. So I just thank you.
We're out here. We're just hiding.
Thank you,
Brandon, you good, man?
No, yeah, it's okay. Having two older sisters and one of them who loves the Star Wars stuff and will talk to me. She absolutely avoids talking it with anybody just because the issues that you are all aware of. So it's nice that we get to hear from you.
You know what? I got a question, Lane. What's your time schedule look like? Are you in a hurry to get somewhere?
No, not really.
Well, I got an idea. Since this is my show and she shares my DNA, I'd like to leave her in with us and have guests come and have Lane interact with them as well. Brandon, are you cool with that? Bailey?
Yes.
Lane, is that something you'd like to do? Stay with us through the rest of the show?
I'm more than happy to.
Because I get to see my daughter, you guys, so she gets to stay. All right. Well, Lane, you're part of the panel now. We're doing crazy stuff. Our next guest is somebody that everybody's familiar with. He's ubiquitous on the Star Wars channel, super knowledgeable, has the beard of truth, ladies and gentlemen. It's Chris, the 1000th Ghost. Good to see you, brother.
What's up?
Long time no see.
Yeah, that was about an hour ago, right? Yeah.
Hour and a half, yeah.
So here's what's going to happen. Lane, stay here. Brandon and Bailey, I need you to grill Chris because I'll be right back, okay? I got to go somewhere really fast because, well, I'll just be honest. This is broken.
Needs work, yep.
I need to fix this. So you guys find out what Chris thought 1 to 10 in his stuff on the episode, and I'll be back. Fair enough?
Yep.
Okay, go.
Okay, Chris, this episode alone rating?
An 8. I
Ooh.
really loved it. The animation was just incredible. Plus, it was pretty much an homage to one of my favorite movies, The Poseidon Adventure, and the drama of I already knew nobody was going to die because nobody was going to die. That's just not how these shows work yet. But there was still a danger if everybody AZ was going to go, if anybody was going to go. And, you know, but I actually kind of really enjoyed this episode. I didn't think it was as fillery as everybody else, but I definitely don't think it was a season finale episode.
Right.
But would have you been happy with this being a season premiere episode? If they'd have cut this episode in half and dropped this season 2, episode 1.
I don't know. I mean, I guess if we were looking at it, like if we're starting something with a bang, I mean, and they certainly did that with Order 66, but like, I don't know. I feel like that would be too soon. I don't know. That's hard to say. If this episode were to be a finale or premiere, I would definitely pick premiere because it just didn't feel like a finale.
Like if this were season 2, episode 1, and they just stopped after, you know, seeing Kamino, I don't like, because they already announced that, you know, I didn't like the timing with the announcement of season 2. I mean, as Chris called it from the beginning that there would be a season 2 with the way that the show was going, but it would have been also a flat episode as a premiere too. So I mean,
do think that the last episode was a perfect ending for the season, but then there would have been too much. Like I don't know who it is. Was it Mark? Somebody wants a time jump between seasons 1 and 2. And if this was a premiere, they couldn't do that. I think there'll be about a 6-month time jump between season 1 and season 2, so that everybody can get to wherever they're going to be. But as a season, I wasn't particularly fond of Rebels or Clone Wars in season 1. And so this is all kind of about a 7 to me, season-wide. Just because they're setting up some characters, they're setting up some stuff, and this is the end of the Clone Wars for me. This might as well have been season 8. And I'm looking forward to season 2 because I think it's going to be something different. Something you're not necessarily going to say, oh, well, that's Clone Wars, this is Clone Wars, that's Clone Wars. You're probably going to start saying, well, that's Rebels, this is Rebels. as we move closer and closer to that time frame. But I thought overall I liked the season. It was very a side questy from time to time, but overall I thought it was pretty good. It was better than the several Aladdin episodes we had with Rebels.
Bailey, please tell me you have a response to that, because Chris is speaking your language.
I mean, I do. I know how I feel about Ezra Bridger. However,
Ezra season 1 was kind of annoying. I liked Ezra. Like season 2 through, I actually kind of liked the kid.
You know what? I've heard that from people where they've given up on Rebels on the first season just because of him. And I, it was very hard for me too. But the other characters is what did it for me. That's what kept me watching. So, and I think that was like kind of the biggest issue I had with this show is like I was waiting for one of them to for me to latch on to these new guys, and it just wasn't happening. So I hope that changes in the future, because even now I enjoy the cameos more than the Bad Batch themselves, and I would like for that to change. So yeah.
Fair enough. So what did I miss while I was gone, Lane? Yeah.
Already out of it.
Yeah. What did you think of Chris's response there? Did he cover it well? Did he give us a number, Lane?
Yes. Well, yes. And Chris, it seemed like you liked it more than I did, which, I'm glad. I totally agree with the animation. The underwater part was interesting. I agree. I liked it. Kind of added something different that they haven't done yet. So I can see why you appreciated it. And you said it reminded you of something else. I don't remember what specifically you said, though.
The Poseidon Adventure.
I'm not familiar.
That's because even with the remake, Chris, that's too old for her.
Yeah, too old. That's true.
Yeah.
It's a 70s disaster movie. It was in the vein of Earthquake and Towering Inferno and these late 70s disaster films. And it's about a cruise ship that turns completely over. And its passengers have to try and make its way up.
I know what it is.
The top of the ship before the ship sinks. And it's about this group of people getting through.
Oh,
it's got Gene Hackman in it and all kinds of great people.
Bailey, Brandon, Lane.
Chris, you are telling me the information is coming. I hear you. But
yeah, the words mean nothing. I get that a lot. That's okay. Paul knows.
Chris, I feel you, dog. I feel you. Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah, we didn't have enough young people on the show, so I added my daughter just so they could look at us like, those are all English words, but I don't know what those mean. So yeah.
I mean, it reminded me of Underwater with Kristen Stewart more than anything, because that's newer. So that's what I have to relate it to.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. Stewart, Chris, the thing with Underwater. Yeah, me too.
Twilight, the flashy girl. Yeah.
Yeah, they did Matt do a remake a few years ago, but that might even still be a little old. So who knows? Oh my God,
was that with Dennis Quaid and Emmy Rossum?
Dennis Quaid was in the remake. Yeah.
Look at me.
Oh, look at Brandon with the old guy logic over there. Brandon, we're aging you more quickly than you need to be. So.
Yeah, you should stop hanging out with us. Really.
Mm-hmm.
Probably it's a good choice on your part.
Oh my God. Chris, now that you're on here, I wanted to take an opportunity to personally thank you, especially on behalf of Brandon and Bailey, unless they want to get in this involved. You have been with us since episode 1. You've been leaving comments. You've been in the live streams. You've given us some great analysis. You even threw some stuff out there that Bailey would text me and go, is he trying to get me to kill him? And I'm like, perfect. Yeah. Well,
where are your receipts, sir? I don't
so as I like to tell my wife, you never let facts get in the way of a good story. Okay. But thank you, Chris, so much for supporting us through this endeavor. You've been awesome. And I don't really know how to top that other than just to say thank you very much. Bailey, Brandon, am I nuts on that?
No, I've enjoyed watching you guys. It really is nice. Even though, over here in the chat, we have our own little thing going. It's great to be part of a conversation about Star Wars that doesn't devolve into name calling or side taking and, that kind of thing. It's been a blast for the past few weeks. It's been wonderful.
That wholeheartedly agree, Chris. Thank you so much. You guys have seen me say it. I'm just flattered that as many people showed up and have been a part of this, and just especially for guys like you, Chris, because you and I relate. Okay, we remember stuff that was happened before they were around. It's great to have guys like you supporting us. So once again, thank you, heartfelt appreciation, my brother.
No problem. And I hope you wait to see you guys next season.
No pressure, right? Maybe I'll drag my daughter into this and see if I can get her to play with us next time season 2. We'll do a 4-person panel. So because I'm not outnumbered by the young people as it is. But with
Add
that,
another girl to the team. That would be
there
good.
you go. Yeah. I just learned today that my daughter and Bailey have been talking back and forth without unbeknownst to me too. So yeah.
Oh my.
Very briefly, I swear.
Yeah. No, whatever. I know how you guys are.
Trash talking you. It's fine. Don't worry.
Yeah. Chris, before I slide you up on out of here to get somebody else in, is there anything that you wanted to say? Anything else you wanted to get out before I just delete you like yesterday's?
No, again, it's end of line.
Yeah. End of line. If you start talking about Fortran 5 or Basic, we're going to lose these guys. Okay, we got to stop. All right. Chris, always a pleasure.
Guys.
Thanks for coming in tonight, man. I really appreciate it. I'll see you soon. You're on every live stream on the internet at this point, so I'll be there soon.
All right. Talk to you guys later.
All right.
See
Take
you,
care,
Chris.
brother. Nice. It was always good to see Chris. So, Bailey, I think this next person belongs to you. So with that, I'm just doing them in the order they came in. So there's a few people in line, and I see you guys down there. Just so you know, I don't want you to think I'm ignoring you. There's actually some pretty young guys who want to join us. So I'm pretty excited about this, but I'm going to do them. I see you, Sam. I'm just going to do them in order. And so the next up is Matthew.
Oh,
Good Irish name, Matthew. It's good to see you.
Nice to vouch for me, guys. And he has an amazing collection behind him. That is an expensive wall right there. It costs as much as my arm. But it's
Hey,
awesome.
Matt, I feel you, brother, on the background thing. Check it out. Looks good. Looks good, man. Bailey, this your man. Get on the interview.
He's my man now. Okay.
Yeah, he's your guest. You know what I mean. That
Okay,
didn't sound right. Wow. Lane, help me. Lane, help me.
You dug this hole.
All right. Well, Matt, in general, what did you think of the show? Like, if you were to put it on a 1 to 10 scale, like, where would you place it and why?
For the entire show, people are gonna hate me for this, but I'd probably put it at like a 6.
Oh, that's not bad.
I don't think that's bad at all. Yeah.
That's not bad.
I think the only reason I put it there is because there was like a good 4 weeks where I just didn't watch the show because I was kind of bored of it.
Oh, yes.
And then Bailey told me about the stream, and I was like, all right, well, I guess I have to catch up now. So I binge watched it for like 3 hours and caught up.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it was funny. I think it was like, this was before school started. We were just like, it was one of our first conversations. I asked, like, do you keep up with the Bad Batch? And he said no. And, well, like, he did, but and I was like, I feel you, but, like, I have to because of the stream. And then it just kind of went from there. But, yep.
So since we got Matthew on, heck with it. He's told us about the Bad Batch. What's the one thing about being Bailey's coworker, Matt, that you think the rest of us would need to know?
Just because her and I have had conversations about it, she's really not that scary in person.
Thank you. Debunk that myth.
Like,
guys.
she can be intimidating when she wants to be, like the time I heard her yell at a class from 2 places ago. Brandon, you got that right, and I will need that sign eventually. But like, she's not a terrifying person.
Right.
But yeah, no, I'm not
Okay.
scary, guys. That's not canon.
All right. So I think I might have mentioned this. My daughter, Lane, is also a teacher. So it's me against you four. All 4 of you guys are teachers.
Wow.
Yeah, well, Brandon just kind of shows up to the school and plays football with the kids, but it's kind of the same.
Yeah.
So
Well,
We'll count you, Brandon.
It's not easy. Not everyone can handle it.
Nice. Well, let me ask you a question, Matthew. Now that you've seen this, because you and I'm glad you said that. because I agreed to do this live stream because I really wanted to give a chance for Bailey and Brandon to get out there and you know, and get them known and stuff like that, because I think they're brilliant Star Wars fans and they're very articulate. But I don't normally watch the animation. And I've sometimes, no offense, Brandon and Bailey, it's been like a homework assignment where I'm like, I got to watch this show because we're going to talk about it. But now that you've seen it all and you and I kind of agree, are you looking forward to next season, or are you just kind of meh?
I was really looking forward to next season after the last episode. And now this one, I think they're just going to kind of putter along with the story of it. And I feel like it's going to lead us into more things that Disney wants to do. I'm excited for it, but I don't know if it's going to like blow me out of the water like season 2 Amando did. So,
Lane, I see you up there nodding your head. Do you agree with Matt on that?
Yeah, I love that we get to have more Star Wars content because Disney is so like bent on creating it and expanding this universe. Because like so many of us grew up with this universe and it just keeps getting bigger and bigger. But I worry because Disney, and they like to do as much as possible to get every ounce out of it. So I don't want it to end up like watering down or washing out. And I worry a little bit.
Yeah. That's a good way to put that, Lane. I agree. Matt, there was another question I was going to ask you, and now I've forgotten because I'm stupid. And Brandon and Bailey have been dealing with me
Whiskey.
this. Yeah, it's not has anything to do with the whiskey. I don't know what you're talking about. Look at Matt. You like whiskey? How about that?
I actually do. So.
All right. Yes, I got another one. You know what? Oh, I don't think so. Is she work with you guys?
No.
Or is that a third? Okay. All right. Yeah. Because she's been supporting us as well, and I greatly appreciate that. Matt, really quick, before we start winding you down here, sir, do you want to talk a little bit about those lightsabers in the background? Because I know that's off topic, but I can see Brandon up there salivating.
I know.
Yeah.
the shield, the camera.
Yeah. What do you got back there, brother?
Okay, so I'm going to see if I can do this while not looking at him. That's from Disney. That's Kylo Ren. That's also Disney's, which is Luke's. Vader's and Anakin's right next to each other are also from Disney. These next 3 were all from Ultra Sabers, and they've cost me more than a month's rent, and I'm proud of that statement. This one was actually my first, and it's Obi-Wan's from episode 1 and part of episode 2. This one I kind of put together myself, which is actually...
Oh, look at Brandon shaking up there.
Which is actually 2 of them that I just kind of put together. And then this one, let's turn those off. Actually changes colors if I put a certain thing inside of it.
Wow.
But yeah, that's been about a 2-year process. And then Cap Shield, Mjolnir. And then Stormbreaker's hiding over in the corner. So,
wow, man, that, my friend, is an impressive collection. I enjoy that. I can't even go down the lightsaber route because these things back here, Matt, that's enough money.
I have 1 helmet, and that I wasn't dedicated enough to buy the rest of them.
Bro, it's like Scientology. You got to get invested in that, man. It's serious business, right? Yeah. Oh my God.
Yeah. And hopefully, I make General Grievous proud.
There you go. There you go. And I will tell you, I'm watching my daughter's face as you're describing these lightsabers. She hasn't paid that much attention to anything I've had to say in years. So.
I mean, lightsabers are
right. Yeah. Yeah. And once again, Lane, exaggerating for illustrative effect. I get, So. Matthew, I appreciate you coming on tonight, man. It's been great having you. Bailey's been talking nothing but great stuff about you. She loves you. Before I kind of slide you on out of here and get our next guest in, was there anything else you wanted to add? Anything else you wanted to say about the Bad Batch or any of us, even if it's bad, especially about me?
No, nothing I can say bad about the Bad Batch. I mean, I was excited when I first heard about the show, and it felt like a few of those seasons of Clone Wars where it was just like, we're going through the motions of it, and it's going to lead to something big, but we're still going to go through those motions. I'm excited to see where they go with the show. They could do a lot of wonderful things. I'm just worried that Disney's not going to.
Look at Lane. Yeah, they're going to disappoint us. Yeah, so we can all cross our fingers. So, Matt, for what it's worth, you must be fairly local if you work with Bailey. I'm right down the street from her. If you ever get a point where you think to yourself, man, I need to get a whiskey and talk some crap about Bailey, please look me up. I'll have you over. We'll hit the barbecue.
Good luck with that.
Yeah.
I'm subscribed, so I'll message you.
All right, perfect. You know how to get a hold of a brother. Get you over here and get some steaks and a couple of whiskeys, and we'll even bring Bailey over and make fun of her to her face so she can kill us both in person. It'll be awesome. So
Perfect. I'll keep the lightsabers here.
yeah. With that, Matt, I cannot begin to thank you enough for coming on and helping us out tonight. It was good to meet you. Good to see you.
Thanks
Thank you
for
so much,
having
man.
me.
Absolutely. You take care, brother. Have a good night.
You too.
All right. So Matthew is an awesome guy, Bailey. You're lucky to be working with him. So
Yeah.
So I'm going to see how this – Sam, hold still, brother. All right. I'm going to bring this very young gentleman in here who's been just itching to get in. And then we got Matt's collection and Josh coming up. But Sam is just excited. So we're going to get Sam in here. We're going to see what he has to say and welcome him to the Bad Batch Breakdown with Brandon and Bailey and now Lane.
Hello.
Sam, how are you doing, buddy?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. It's good to see you. Finally, you've been typing in my comments for quite a while. You look like you're excited to be here, my friend. What did you think of the Bad Batch? If you had to give it like a 1 to 10, brother.
I'll give it a 9 because
okay.
I love it and I like it much better than the Clone Wars series.
Oh, okay. Wow. All right.
All right.
And
So, Sam, I have a question for you. You sound like you have a bit of an accent. Are you from Australia or New Zealand?
Yeah.
You're from both? That's pretty cool. Do one of you educators want to help me out here? I don't know how to talk to kids.
Doing great, Dad. Doing great.
Oh, thanks. So, Sam, am I allowed to ask you how old you are, buddy?
yeah,
Okay, how old are you?
I'm 12.
Okay, you're 12. All right, cool. And what time is it where you're at, big guy?
9:59 in the morning.
Oh, okay. It's not like 2 a.m. or something. So you're allowed to be up and talking on the live stream with us, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Brandon, I know you got a question or two for my big man, Sam, here. What's up?
Who's your favorite Bad Batch character, Sam?
Wrecker.
Wrecker?
Mm.
What's your favorite thing about Wrecker?
He likes to blow stuff up.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. Lane, do you have a question for Sam at all, ma'am?
Way to put me on the spot.
Teaching.
I don't do well when I'm put on the spot like this.
Okay. We'll move to Bailey. Bailey, you look like you got a question, ma'am.
I do, and it was like the first thing that came out of his mouth. Why don't you like Clone Wars?
Oh yeah, that one.
Why not?
I didn't find it very interesting.
Maybe because we grew up with it, Bailey. Maybe.
I'm just excited that there's someone even younger than you guys on here. And he's like, yeah, Clone Wars, that stuff, it's been around forever. So,
That's okay.
Sam, I want to ask you a question too, if that's okay. Is that okay? All right, cool. Do you collect any of the action figures or do you have any of the Star Wars toys at all?
Yes.
Can you show if you have something really cool or something favorite really close by, you can show us really fast?
Got one of my Black Series here.
Oh,
Plo Koon.
Plo Koon. Is he your favorite Jedi?
No. Also,
He's got a Grogu hoodie on, you guys. That's awesome.
He's prepared.
got Chewbacca.
Oh, Chewbacca. Yeah, now I'm pronouncing it like him too. I guess. You got
Luke.
Chewbacca. Yeah. Oh, you got a bunch of. So you're a Black Series collector, Sam?
Yeah.
Okay, that's pretty cool. Now, the obvious question is, since you're such a young man, is where do you get the money to buy the figures? Do you have to do chores around the house and stuff, or do you have a job?
I have to do chores and stuff.
That's what I figured. So you got to wait for mom and dad to get them for you, huh? Well, I tell you what, Sam, you are awesome, and I have enjoyed having you in the comments tonight. You've been great, and you're really brave to get on here with a bunch of old people like these three up there and join us tonight. So I really appreciate it, Sam. Before I get our next guest on here, Sam, did you have anything that you wanted to tell us before we move on to the next person?
Yes. It's
Okay.
been an honor to be here, and I really love your channels.
Wow. Thank you so much, Sam. You know what? Because I'm kind of an old guy. And so to hear that there's a really young guy like yourself who's coming up behind us that likes Brandon and my channels and likes the show, that really means a lot to me. And I really appreciate that, sir. Thank you very much. You're a very nice man. Brandon, Bailey, you guys have anything to say before we move on here?
It's nice to meet you, Sam. I'm glad that you love Star Wars.
To meet you. Yeah, it's a pleasure
Lane?
to meet you, dude.
I'm so glad to see the young generation into Star Wars. I've been talking a lot of Pokemon recently with my students, but no one has been into Star Wars, so it's nice. It's refreshing.
Yes.
See, look at that, Sam. You're popular with all the teachers on the panel right now. How's that make you feel? All right, good. Sam, thank you so much. It was good to see you. You've been a great sport, and I was excited to get to talk to you. We're going to move on to our next guest, though. Is that okay?
Yeah, bye.
All right, take care, Sam. Bye-bye, brother. That little guy was awesome. He was so cool. Oh, my God. All right. So I can't quite tell what he looks like, but Matt's collection is here. And I said I've only ever seen his hands, and I'm worried that he's going to be super better looking than me, and my daughter's going to be jealous that her father's not that good looking. So without any further ado, let's get Matt in here. Oh, Matt, thank you. He's got the phone.
You'll never know, Dad.
He's got the helmet and the lightsaber. He's trying to get all the ladies tonight. What's up, Matt? Oh, my God.
Ah, there he is.
Oh,
He's in that thing.
Yeah, I can't see a thing. Matt, it is good to finally meet you, man.
Yeah,
Good
bud.
to see you. Yeah, there he is.
Yeah,
He's better
what's up?
looking than me, too. God darn it.
No, I got a face made for radio. I got to ask Brandon, where's yours, man? You can't.
It's right back on my shelf.
I was wondering which one you went with. I can't see it. We can talk about it later.
Yeah, it's the power and defense one.
Okay, cool.
Or protection.
Protection defense. That's what my 10-year-old did.
Okay.
He did that. He made that one, and then my 7-year-old. Well, he was 6 at the time. He did the Sith one, power and control.
Yep.
Yeah, we're keeping an eye on. We're keeping our eye on him.
Right. Yeah. They get, Matt, I ain't telling you nothing you don't know. They go astray quick. You got to keep in line, bro. You know. I feel bad for your kids. My daughter can talk hours about it. Growing up with a military officer father. Come on, man. Yeah. I'm surprised she turned out as well as she did because I was so tough on her. But anyway, Matt, thanks for coming on, man. It's good to see you.
Glad I could be here.
1 to 10 on the season, brother. Where are you at?
Overall season, I give it probably an 8.5 or 9.
Wow. Okay. A true believer. All right, cool.
There was a lot of good stuff in there. And for me, I'm kind of like you, Paul. I'm more of the movies, the live action than I am. I mean, when the Bailey, relax. When the Clone Wars first came out, I hated it. I didn't like it at all. It grew on me over time. And Rebels was fun because like when that came out, my oldest, he was like 5 and we'd watch it together. So the animation kind of grew on me and stuff like that. But for this, for me, it's just, hey, it was something that me and my kids could sit down and watch. My 7-year-old kind of bailed on it because he has the attention span of a gnat. And he'll get back to it. But we were like, hey, we're going to go watch Bad. I don't want to. So he'll catch up on it. He was a couple episodes behind, but my oldest, him and I, we sit down and we watch it, and he's just excited every week. He'd give every episode a 10 if he were in here because he just loves all of it. There's a part of me that likes it because it's new Star Wars, So
Brandon, or actually, you know what, Bailey, let's go over to you. So you obviously rated it a little lower than Matt did. Do you have a response to that, or like a counter argument or something, or any sort of conversation?
I can see why he would rate that. I think it's a very different experience when you're watching something with your kids. I'm not a parent. I'm watching it for me. So I don't, even as a teacher, I don't hear a lot of kids talking Star Wars. So I don't have that perspective. I'm not watching it with anybody else. It's just me. In with it, I'm like almost 26 years old. So this is coming from someone who grew up on Clone Wars, where that was like like your kids are experiencing Bad Batch. Now for me, it was Clone Wars. So of course, like I'm gonna have a very different attitude and perception when I'm watching something new. So of course, I think that's why I look at it a little different than like with you. So I think it.
Oh yeah, I have a lot of friends like.
Yeah.
Actually, it was guys that were like airmen and stuff that worked for me in the Air Force, and now we're contractors together. And guys that, the first time he saw Star Wars in a theater was, he saw the special editions, but the first new Star Wars he saw was the prequel. So he has a totally different perspective on it, and I love that. My kids, the first Star Wars movie they saw in the theater was The Force Awakens, and it's like I get beat up so much on like chat rooms or stuff. Yeah, where it's like
same.
I like the sequel trilogy. If anything else, it allowed me to take my kids to the theater to see Star Wars like my dad did for me when I, 6-year-old me seeing Star Wars in the theater when I was I had to, unlike you, I had to go 6 whole years of my life without Star Wars. So but didn't know we were missing because it wasn't there. But no, but that was the thing with it. It was, I get to do like I said, 6-year-old me sitting there with my dad in the theater, and he's reading the opening crawl to me because I couldn't read that fast. And then I'm doing the same thing for my kids several years later, and it was just I was this proud dad moment kind of.
Well, if you don't mind, Matt, and you don't have to answer this, because I know personal information on the internet and stuff like that, especially in your do you mind if I ask you how old you are so I get a perspective on what you're talking about there? And if you don't, you can say go to hell, Paul, if you want.
I think he froze.
Oh no, I think he froze too. So you know what?
Memories.
So here's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna do something strange here. We were gonna go one guest at a time, but I love this guy so much, you guys, and he has so much to offer, and he's 10 times better looking than me. So, Josh, get on in here, brother.
Hey.
Josh. So Matt froze up on us, Josh, but good to see you. How are you doing, man?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Hold on.
Is he back?
Matt, are you back?
Yeah, can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
I don't know what happened there.
Okay. Well, because you got that Air Force connection, we got another guy in here to help you. So
well, if I were still in, I'd be Space Force now.
Yeah, okay. Right. And if I were still in, I'd be dead probably by this point. So But anyway, what were you talking about before you disappeared, Matt?
Where was I? You were asking me how old I was.
Yeah, is that okay?
No, it's fine. It is kind of weird being the same age as old people, but I'm 50 now, so it's like it's weird. Right. Yeah, it's.
So we're the same age. So when you're talking about sitting in the theater with your father, you were 6, I was 7. So 6.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. All right.
So.
Okay. So Matt, we're going to keep you here, but I'm going to jump over to Josh here because you know what, everybody knows, and these two will tell you. Will you just shut up about it? I'm a huge Josh Sith Care Bear fan. I love this guy. He's so smart. Josh, 1 to 10 on this. Yeah, right. I don't know where you live, but I'm coming there soon, and you're going to open the front door, and we're going to have some drinks. But anyway,
I'm checking out the Legos up there. Or no, wait.
Yeah.
Is that a vintage Millennium Falcon?
Yes.
Jealous.
Yes.
Oh, this guy, Matt. Trust me, you guys could talk for hours.
I've been looking at the backgrounds. Everybody who's been on this so far because it's like, oh, that's cool. I want that. You can start going, need it, got it, need it.
Right. Well, you know what? You're dangerous though, Matt, because you'll put them on the wall and they'll fall off and break. So.
Yeah,
sorry.
No, you can sit on that shelf now.
I bet. All right. But anyway, Josh, 1 to 10 on the season. Where are you at and why?
The season as a whole, I'd give it an 8. Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of in the same boat as Chris was. I feel like everyone's kind of being a little unfair to it to a certain extent. I mean, it's the beginning of Clone Wars. I mean, come on, Sky Guy and R2E and all of that.
That's how 14-year-old girls talk.
Well, I know, but I mean, it was grating. So no offense, but so it was difficult to get through that, and in the end, I loved it. In the end, Ahsoka became one of my all-time favorite Star Wars characters. So I feel like it's way too early to tell. Not to mention the fact that the first season for Clone Wars and Rebels were given more episodes. So they had a little bit more story to tell. And as far as the last episode, I enjoyed it. I agree it is very Poseidon adventure-y. I liked I thought the beginning, the whole opening sequence as everything was collapsing was extremely intense. And it was just all the action and chaos. It was kind of fun to watch, and it very much illustrated the beauty of the animation that has been throughout the entire series. And as much as I wanted there to be a big cameo at the end, I like that they didn't do one. I like that they continued telling their story, and that they weren't leaning on the shoulders of the legacy characters. We talk about being bored and not necessarily emotionally invested in some of these characters. Well, we weren't necessarily emotionally invested in some of the other characters initially too. So it's just going to take time, and I think they'll get there. I think that season 2, I feel like a chapter was closed at the end of this season, and the next season is going to segue into something else entirely. And I think it's going to be actually very interesting.
Nice, Josh. You know what? It's fun to get like a. Yeah, I was getting ready to ask you, Matt. I see you nodding your head down there. Those are some excellent points, Josh, and they obviously diverge a little bit from where we're at. Matt, you seem to agree with him. Am I right about that?
Quite a bit, yeah. I think they did leave a lot on the table, and I'm okay with that because we know we're getting a season 2. If we didn't know there was a season 2 coming, and they ended it this way, I'd be really disappointed but you still have the battle for Crosshair's soul to come up.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
And
and it's going to happen for sure.
They've mentioned his name and they haven't shown him yet. Boba Fett's going to show up at some point, and I hope they do that cut that there was that deleted scene that they were going to with his fight with Cad Bane where he gets the dentist helmet. Yeah. And, there's things like that I want to see, that I want them to do, and I know Filoni wants to do it.
Like
and
Chris
we're going to
said,
spread this out, and I'm cool with it. Yeah, Chris
it's
awesome.
It is a continuation of Clone Wars in many ways. Yeah. And I feel like Filoni will take advantage of that opportunity to tell those stories. I think we may even get to see the Ventress episodes that we didn't get. I think that there's opportunity for that. I mean, she was working with Boba at one point if they bring him into it. Not to mention there's an opportunity for Boba to meet Fennec and for us to understand maybe why he bothered to even save her out in the desert on Tatooine. I think that there's so much potential to it, and I like that they played it safe. Like, well, I don't even say played it safe. They just took their own steady pace, like Mandalorian did with the first season, and they didn't just jump right into all the cameos and all the big connections to the greater universe. They took their time to develop the characters that the show is focused on, and I think season 2 is when they're just going to blow it up.
I would say I compared, and I've said it before in other comments and on other episodes of this. I compare this season, the way they've done it, especially with the slower episodes. If you watch, the first season of The Expanse or the first season of Babylon 5, I can't recommend. That's probably one of the best science fiction shows ever made, in my book. Is that the first season they sowed seeds in that they didn't pay off until like season 3 and 4.
Yeah.
And it was like, there is one thing that happens in the end of season 3, and they purposely go back and show they were talking about it in season 1. And it's like, whoa, I'm not 100% sure like Filoni's doing that here, but there's definitely some, there's definitely some neat Easter eggs in it. I mean, you saw like in the Mandalorian season 2 when they do this, was it the Siege, where they go to the Imperial base on Varro, and you see the tanks. So there's like just a hint of stuff. So I think eventually all of this they're sowing seeds of kind of like, this is one thing that the Clone Wars did because for like the prequels, because there were a lot of people that did not like the prequels. but then you watch, say, you watch the Clone Wars, and it kind of rounds it out, and you got a lot more. You have a lot more people talking about, a lot better than, talk about the prequels a lot better than they did. There were people that were singing songs like George Lucas raped my childhood and stuff like that. It was like
It was
after
terrible.
after Phantom Menace.
Yeah.
It's horrible. I mean,
Yeah.
all this Phantom Menace crap you're getting now was here 20 years ago. They haven't changed it, but George Lucas, Dave Filoni, and those, they rounded out with the Clone Wars cartoon, and I think they're doing the same thing with the sequel trilogy now, because you get hints like with all the Disney Plus stuff. You've got hints of stuff in The Mandalorian. You got more hints when they went to that other planet. I can't remember but they had the abandoned cloning facility. And you saw some more hints, stuff like that. The final scene where they show, not Tonway,
Nala say.
Nala. Thank you, Brandon.
I finally remembered it.
Yeah, but and I
Tiramisu.
swear, I wish I could find it. It's like I have my old Heir to the Empire novel, and I swear that planet is an exact description of Wayland from the Heir to the Empire series.
The mountain that they do.
Yeah, exactly. It's all I could think of when I saw that. Because that's probably one of my favorite book series. It is the Heir to the Empire series from the late 80s, early 90s. So you're seeing stuff like that, and that's the stuff I really like about it. I mean, like Chris said earlier, and Josh, you brought it up as well, that you're looking at, this is like an extension of the Clone Wars cartoons, and it's almost a bridge to, it's obviously a bridge to Rebels with, they've shown so many. You've seen Chopper, you've seen Caleb Dune was, and you've seen, everybody. Yeah. So you're seeing these people. I mean, and it's okay. Llama Stew. Thanks, Chris. But you're seeing all these things, and it's a nice bridge like that, if nothing else. And it just, I think just as soon as I'm hoping now in season 2, they start telling their own story as well.
Yeah.
It doesn't always have to reference something else. And they didn't quite do that, but I think, you're going to see some hints for other stuff, but I would like to see them tell their own story here, make it their own.
I have kind of a related question, Matt and Josh. Have you two, do you guys know each other? Have you interacted before? Have you been on a live stream together at this point?
No.
No, this is the first time I've ever done anything like that.
Yeah, because I love Brandon and Bailey, but I might have picked the two wrong people for this show. Damn.
I mean, we can sign off now if you want.
Ouch!
Oh, Brandon, now's when you put that sign
Why
up.
are you guys hurt?
Because that hurt. It hit him so hard, I felt it, Bailey.
Right. Yeah. So men have what's called a sympathetic reflex when another man gets kicked in the situation. Okay, that's what just happened. So
It's not about me going out.
I know, right? Yeah, I'm just kidding. Bailey, you're part of Paul's Collectibles. I can't get rid of you even if I wanted to. I'm just kidding.
I think it's time for a double entendre. Oh, she's frozen.
Yeah. Oh, here we go. David. Oh, yeah, and you know what? And she'd be well off to do. I love giving Brandon and Bailey a hard time. It's so much fun. I haven't given my daughter too much of a hard time because I've kind of just sprung this whole thing on her. Josh, if you, for the next season coming back, what's the main thing that you're looking to see? Like, what's the main burning question topic that you're like, they gotta address this for us?
What is the true significance of Omega?
Actually, I know where he lives.
Yeah.
Why is she the focal point? I mean, they've answered so much, but then at the same time, they've answered so little. I would like to see more of a continuation, which I think we will, of the Rebels stuff. I think that they're going to use it as a way to kind of set the stage for Rebels, sort of show us where the other characters are. Maybe they'll go to Mandalore and we'll see a young Sabine. Maybe we'll see the Empire take out Zeb's homeworld. Maybe we'll see the Bad Batch help Ezra's parents while they're doing their underground broadcasts. Maybe see his mother pregnant with him or something.
He should be born by now. He was born on Empire Day.
Oh,
He's
okay.
born.
All right.
He was born roughly about the same time as Luke and Leia, so
Luke and
he
Leia,
should
yeah.
be born.
Okay.
See, I
So,
paid
you know,
attention.
see a
Bailey. I did.
very young version. But yeah, so I think we'll see more of that. But yeah, my burning question is, what is the significance of Omega?
Right. Yeah, fair enough. Lane, I see you up there nodding your head. Do you agree with Josh, Sith Care Bear down there on that burning question? Or just since you just recently finished the series, what's the one thing you want to see next episode compared to what Josh said, Lane?
Absolutely. I have so many questions about her, especially because they mentioned that she's supposed to be like one of the purest genetic components. But like having studied biology, I'm like, okay, what kind of genetics are we talking? Because she's blonde, she's female. So I'm like, okay, what are you specifically getting at? Because the only other clone who's pure is Boba Fett. And he's like identical, right, to Jango Fett. That makes sense. So like, what did they do to her? Why is she part of that?
Exactly.
Like, the scientist in me wants more, and it needs to be accurate. Just a little, it's gonna make me angry.
Yeah,
I mean, I feel
agree.
you. Before education, I did biology as an undergrad, so that was like I had those same questions in my head when they dropped that. I was like, oh, that's a choice.
I was like, okay, there's something going on here, but all right. I think especially listening to Josh and Matt when you're talking about like how you rated it and what you think about it, I realized I also don't think about this as its own season. I keep imagining it as like added on to Clone Wars or like a prequel to other ones. So I think like, especially like you said, being able to watch it with your kids, you get this sort of like on its own. Like they're seeing all these characters and all these things for the first time, whereas it's like, okay, yeah, Rex, he's been around for like years, cool, whatever. So I'm kind of understanding why people are enjoying this a lot more. Is that you can like pull yourself out of like the Clone Wars mindset and be like, this is its own. These characters need to build themselves. Like I do remember not liking Ahsoka Tano in the very beginning. I was like, oh my gosh. And then by the end of it, like I'm like, okay, how do I cosplay her? How do I get every book and figure out all the things?
Right. So really quick, you guys, I'm going to break protocol one more time here. There's a gentleman who's been waiting since way early on, who I know from back in the day on some other old talk shows. But Matt and Josh, I love you guys, and you're doing a great job. I'd love to have you stay. Can you stay with us?
Yeah.
I can stay for a little bit longer. I don't know. I don't know if you guys were paying attention. My kid came in and he's like, "I'm ready."
Oh yeah.
I'm like,
okay.
Ready for what? He was like, "To be tucked in." I'm like,
oh, okay. Matt, I tell you what, I'm not going to escort you out anytime soon here, Matt, because I love you and Josh. But I'm going to add one more.
I'll get a second call. So
okay. So when you got to go, just kind of raise your hand and tell us you got to go. Okay. But I want to add this guy because he reminds me of Brandon in a little bit of sense. I've known him from back in the day, but we haven't really interacted. And I don't even know his real name. This is Galanorian Saber. Yeah.
Hey,
it's good to see you, Saber. I haven't seen you since back in the old call-in show days on Friday nights.
I know. It's an honor to be here. You guys do some great work.
Thank you very much. You've been kind of silent throughout the season, so I didn't know if you were watching us or not, but I know that at least you were smart enough to show up for this, which makes you okay in my book, my brother.
Yeah, I just recently moved, and so I just got caught up on it on the series yesterday because I got internet back, and so I've really enjoyed it so far.
Okay. Well, I can say this from an objective perspective. The group you see above you here, you know what? Let me fix this really fast. There you go. The group that you're in here right now are 6 of the smartest Star Wars people I have ever had the opportunity to interact with, including my daughter. And even if she wasn't, I would still say that because she's my daughter. But with that, I wanted to welcome you to the panel, and I was excited to have you join the show when I saw you pop up down there, Galanorian. But I'll start off with 1 to 10 on the series as a whole, and what are your thoughts to back that up?
I'll give it a solid 8. I've really enjoyed this series. It's been very consistent in my book all the way through. I never watched an episode that I was disappointed in. I've enjoyed all of them. And like story-wise, I'm not in a hurry to get anywhere. I know we've had Mando, we've got Boba Fett coming up, and so I don't need things to move at a breakneck speed. I like looking at these little characters that come in. Like I think Star Wars is big enough now that I think its full potential can be realized when we do give some light to those smaller characters that occasionally pop in. Like they don't need their own series or their own show, but they for an episode to give them a little bit more more story, I think it works for him. But the both of these, like these last two episodes, like growing up, the movie that I watched the most was Attack of the Clones, and I watched
You would
it.
not like where I rate that one in Star Wars movies, man.
Oh, I didn't mean to interrupt you, Gallinori. Left Coast makes a point. You're not 49 or 50 or 51 like some of us around here. We're in a hurry, okay? We're in a goddamn hurry. So go ahead, man. I'm sorry.
You're good. But I mean, that was my favorite movie, growing up, and so I watched a lot of the tour of the clone facility and everything, and so to see it, just empty, just to see it inactive, and ultimately, it's destroyed, was a powerful moment. And I like how it comes full circle. In the first episode, they have to escape Kamino, and they have to escape the cloners and come to them. And in this last episode, the very place that gave birth to them is now trying to kill them, and they got to escape that again and to come out. And so it comes full circle, and I thought it was a great end to the season.
Wow. So we got some biology majors and math majors up top, but it sounds like we got a Shakespearean major down here, ladies and gentlemen. Josh, Matt, Brandy, anybody. Somebody want to respond to that? That was good.
Well, I've noticed that with guys in your age group, Gallinorian, that are, that grew up on the prequels, that have that emotional, and you talked about it last week, Paul, you guys brought it up, how when it's Kamino's being destroyed, it's like you're losing a friend, and it's like, there's another YouTuber, Bombastic. He does a lot of video game stuff, but he's been doing, I see Brandon shaking his head, none. But he had some great stuff. The guy's hilarious, and but he was talking about like the fall of Kamino and this in very similar ways. I've noticed guys your age that you grew up on that. That was the first Star Wars you saw in the theater, and you guys really are. It's really tough to see what they did to Tapoka City. And it's like. I thought it was like, whoa, they're doing this. And it was, for me, it was, you're seeing stuff like, oh, there goes like this week's episode when there was at one point where they were trapped and you can see the cloning facility. They're in the same hallway where Obi-Wan was walking with Lama Su and Tan Wei, and they're showing off all the clones, and it's empty and it's flooded and everything. And I was like, oof, that hurts.
Yeah. Yeah. Even for us old grizzled guys who spend a lot of time getting yelled at for a living, right, Matt?
Oh my God.
Josh, did you have any thoughts on what Gallinorian just said? Because some of what he said, that was actually, I didn't even realize the coincidental irony, if that's even a thing.
What? No.
You guys wonder why I love Josh.
If I was wearing a hat, it would be off to you, sir.
No, I mean, I thought it was extremely impactful when they destroyed it. To me, that was one of the most beautiful settings in Star Wars. I always just loved how different it was. I always feel that George Lucas did such a fantastic job of truly creating alien worlds. That was one of the things that I was disappointed about with the sequel trilogy, was that I didn't feel like we got anything new. And I felt like the prequels really showed us that galaxy far, far away, and the impact of seeing such a essential piece of that story be devastated that way is it's pretty huge. So yeah, I mean, I get it.
Bailey, Brandon, Lane, you guys have been kind of quiet through some of this. Gallinorian brought up some great points. Did you have a response to that or something that you wanted to add in on that?
I absolutely. Oh, okay.
Not that I can come up with. No, I'm not going to lie. There was so much said that my brain kind of like, I think I lost track of the conversation.
I think Matt's out of here, so all right. If not, he'll come back. Yeah, from my perspective, Gallinorian, that was, you just said some things that I didn't even think about. The beginning and the end are exactly the same, and I appreciate that. That was pretty cool. Lane, I see you're nodding your head. Do you agree with him on that?
Yeah, and I think it's just because I played as many Star Wars games as I could get my hands on, but all the scenes where you're at the clone facilities that are based in like the first movies. I could just think about it raining, and so to watch it like to be destroyed and to like think that's how they started it was really impactful. And like for some reason, that particular part of the movie where he's walking through and they're demonstrating all the clones and showing them all of that, and just how graceful the
Kaminoans.
Thank you. The Kaminoans are, I don't know, it always stuck with me. Like, I want to be that tall and graceful. Like, so to see, like, them be sort of, like, just completely dismantled was really disheartening.
Fair enough. Lane, remind me, how tall are you? Because you're not short.
5'8".
Yeah. My daughter's 5'8". She almost looks me in the eye, and I'm 6'3". But anyway, that's neither here nor there.
You're 6'3"?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Okay, well, since we're yeah, I was gonna say, Bailey, how tall are you, ma'am?
5'2".
Yeah, I know. I can put you in a pocket. Brandon, since we're doing this really fast, how tall are you, sir?
6'3".
Oh boy, that means
boy.
Brandon. Josh, you want to play?
I feel all pitiful now. I'm 5'10".
All right. Well, the logical way we go with this is Galenor, and you got dragged into this. How tall are you, sir?
I am 5'9".
Okay. All right. So Lane literally does look you in the eye. That's awesome.
Yeah.
All right. Cool. You know what? Are you everybody that's here right now? Are you guys having fun? Are you enjoying yourselves?
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. So we're going to try something here, and we're going to see how it goes. There's a clearly a younger gentleman who's named Mando Clips, who's been with us since the beginning. And I'm going to need the young people and the old people to help me out with this because I don't know how to talk to him. And he's costumed up and he's ready to go. He used to be called Mando Clips. He's called Mando Animations now. And we're going to welcome him in and see how he's doing. You guys want to help me out with this? Bailey, you don't look convinced. You ready?
Yes.
Okay. Mando, good to see you. How are you doing, sir? He's got his Boba Fett helmet on.
I'm doing good.
Okay, so you can hear us and we can hear you, right?
Yep.
Okay, so Bailey, Brandon, one of you want to take the questioning on this one? You know the questions we ask.
Yeah. If you had to rate the season 1 out of 10, what would it be?
10.
Lane, do you have a question about that? Please tell me you do.
So, yeah, why would you give it a 10? What made it so, like, right up there for you?
Probably the War Mantle episode changed my whole opinion on it.
The War Mantle episode. Okay.
Yeah.
I have a question for you, Mando. Our last young gentleman was obviously lived somewhere near you because he has a similar accent. What is it with you guys in Australia up this early on live streams?
I don't know.
Okay, that's the right answer. That's the right answer. Bailey, do you have a question for young Mando here, ma'am?
You know, it was honestly the same as Lane.
What about it?
Yeah. Like, I guess, because you said it was the one episode that made it a 10 for you. What is it for you? Do you like the characters? Do you like the story? Like, what made it that good for you?
Probably the characters in it. Like the troopers and stuff.
So I'm gonna what's the word I'm looking for? I'm gonna draft Josh and Galenorian into service here, and they're now hosts with us. Josh, could you do me a favor? Do you have a question that will help Mando articulate what it is that he loves so much about this season?
Well, what is your favorite character?
Probably Wrecker, definitely, 100% Wrecker.
Why do you like Wrecker?
Because he blows stuff.
This feels vaguely familiar, and I'm not entirely sure that we might not be dealing with. Yeah, Galenorian, really quick. Tell me you got a question for this young brother over here.
Yeah, we're getting a season 2 of this show. What are you looking forward to the most in the next season?
I'm not really sure. It's probably just not really exactly sure what I want to say. I just want to watch it.
Well, I would submit to you guys that that's the best reason to like Star Wars because it's just fun. We've talked about fun the whole time, everybody. Mando, I appreciate you coming on. I know you were patient. You were in there for a really long time, and you're an awesome guy. You've always been with us and leaving lots of comments. thank you so much for dropping by and saying hi. Before I kind of squeeze you on out of here for our next guest, is there anything else you wanted to say, brother?
Well, your channel's really good, and yeah, have a nice night.
Flattery will get you everywhere. I appreciate that. All right, Mando. You guys, you and your friend, who I can hear in the background, by the way, and I know you're both at the same place. You guys go have a good time, and we look forward to hopefully possibly seeing you next season on the Bad Batch Breakdown with Brandon and Bailey. Sound good, Mando?
Yep.
All right, man. Thanks for stopping by. We'll talk to you later. I love the little guys, man. They're so funny.
The next generation of Star Wars nerds.
Exactly, and it shows that it shows the Bad Batch is doing what Star Wars is supposed to do. It's to capture a new generation. It's just the same as Clone Wars and the prequels did, and just as Star Wars did for us old folk. So yeah.
Hey, Galenorian, really quick, and you don't have to answer if you don't want to. Do you mind if I ask how old you are, sir? You can give a range if you want.
How old would you guess? Because most people are pretty far off.
I would say you're about 24.
I'm 30.
What is your secret, and can I have some of it? Oh, my God. All right. So you're kind of in between the top group and me and Josh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, cool. So I will tell you this.
I didn't say I was grouped with you.
No, you're not. No. Wow.
I'm not that old. I mean,
hold on. Man, Josh, wow, that hurt. Hold on. Okay, well, Josh, you don't have to say exacts. Then I don't think I've ever asked you this range, if you don't mind, or exact age, if you don't mind.
Oh, I'm 42.
Okay, yeah, so you're about 9 years younger than me. So the important thing I'm trying to get at here, before Josh stabbed me like that,
I mean, same generation, but different ends of it. Just
yeah, very different ends of it. Yeah, I'm in the same generation as my father-in-law. By the way, we won't get into that. Oldest daughter, young. Anyway, what I'm trying to make here is I'm shocked. Look at Lane. She's like, oh my God, my father's such an idiot.
My aunt is older than or younger than me.
Oh yeah. So really quick side fact, Lane has an aunt that's younger than her because I married the oldest daughter in a family, and you guys get the idea, and she's way younger than me. But anyway, yeah, facts no one cares about on the Bad Batch Breakdown with Brandon and Bailey. So the point I'm trying to make here is after having those young guys on, especially Mando and I think it was Lizard Gaming, I'm shocked at the range of people not only that are paying attention to Star Wars these days, because we've been sold a good bill of goods that it's really old guys or young people that are just getting into it. I'm shocked at the amount of people, age range, that are paying attention to this show. Brandon, Bailey, you've been here with me since the beginning. How do you guys feel about that?
I think what they've done is, they had the original trilogy, and then you had stuff for the EU, and then you had the prequels, and then you had the animation, and now you've got the sequels. So you've got things releasing generationally, and it's Star Wars, and they do a good job of keeping, not everybody's favorite thing is the sequel trilogy, but a lot of people, their favorite thing is the sequel trilogy because it's what they were raised with. I grew up watching the original trilogy, but I was raised with I grew up during the prequels. So that was huge for me. And we've got people who Bad Batch is going to be their introduction. No.
Yeah. Bailey, what are your thoughts on that matter?
I'm not surprised because we live in a day and age where literally everything is available to us, with Disney Plus. So there's really no excuses now for if somebody wants to get into Star Wars, they have literally everything available to them now. So for them to be familiar with everything is not a surprise to me. We live in a very lucky time, I think, when it comes to having both the old and the new content instead of having to wait, decades, as you have described. You guys have gone, what was it, 20 years before the
dark times?
Yeah, the dark times.
Before the dark times.
Anymore. So I'm not surprised, and I think it's I've come to find out that I think Star Wars is just something that people pass down, to younger generations. So no, I'm not surprised that we have such a diverse age range because it's there. It's all there.
So I'm going to end up asking the same question of Lane and Galanorian, but Josh, you're a little closer to me, even if you're not my age. I was shocked when I saw the age range of the guys that were jumping in to be with it. I mean, those were little guys, and I love them. Does that kind of thing surprise you, or are you expecting to see that? Josh,
What?
You there? Oh yeah.
No, it doesn't surprise me at all. It's I just like messing with you, Paul. I just want to make sure you're still there, old man.
Okay. No, I can't see the screen in focus, but I can guess where each of you are, smart ass.
No, it doesn't surprise me at all. It's all intentional. They got to sell toys, so they got to capture the younger audience, and they're catering to them to a certain extent. But at the same time, they're not ignoring the fans. I don't feel ignored. I may not always be pleased with what I'm getting, but I'm not displeased with any of it. So,
Galanor, you know I'm going to you next, brother. What's your thoughts on that matter as far as the age range of, like, I'll be honest with you. I started the stream, I hit the link, and then like a couple of really young guys jumped in who have been commenting really well and really articulately. I did not realize they were that young. What does that say to you?
I think that's what Star Wars is. It's a generational property. It's so big now that there's something for everyone. Like if you're whether you're one of those little guys or you're older, there's something that's good for you. And I think that also says that there's a bright future here for Star Wars. We know that there's so many projects that are in development. There's so many things that are getting that they're working on that'll come out in the future. And those little guys are going to be in almost the prime age for that when that comes out to enjoy those. And so, as far as Star Wars goes, we got a bright future ahead of us.
You see, there you go. And you've heard me talk about this, Galanorian, if you've been watching. I say this to Brandon a lot, that wonderful optimism and excitement about the future of Star Wars, despite the fact that they beat us over the head a couple of times with some stuff, is awesome. And I appreciate hearing that from you. Lane, you're the last one up. You saw those little guys jump in here. You saw Chris come in here. It looks like he's Santa Claus's older brother. It's all ages. What does that say to
you? Well, I mean, I think really it says that Disney is doing its job in marketing all of this to every generation, right? So, like, we enjoy it. You enjoy it, Dad. And so do the younger students that, like, we teach. So I mean, I think also that sort of puts like a first season into context because animated series are usually targeted towards kids and like a lot of kids shows, you don't see a lot of character development, like really, really heavy, really, really emotional character development in the first season because they want the kids to be attached to the characters. Like Wrecker is a hit because he blows stuff up. Like, yes, what kid doesn't want to blow stuff up? I love it. I'm here for it. Like, I get it. They have the characters that the kids are like really fond of and get really attached to, but then they have like underlying story stuff or things that they set up that like we can appreciate more. Right. And then we also have like The Mandalorian, the live action, which is a little bit, I feel like would be more like older kids and young adults and older adults and things like that. So I think Disney's doing a good job, but also the fact that they tie the storylines together means that as these kids continue to watch it, like however long Bad Batch ends up being, watch all the seasons. Oh, my cat just made a cameo.
It's like, oh, there's someone behind you.
Yeah. My dog's down here making a cameo too. Yeah.
Movie, I was like, oh,
sorry.
Behind you, Lane, behind you.
Yeah, sorry, this is my child. So anyways, what I was saying is that these kids, they can start on the new animated series, which is fresh and it's interesting and it's new characters. It's not stuff that's being talked about. They can like watch it weekly, and then they have all of that content. Like what Bailey was saying, we're in a lucky age. They'll be able to grow up and then appreciate watching the older movies or watching like The Mandalorian and the live actions because then it's more geared. Like there's just all ranges.
Yeah. I just wanted to point out really quick. That's my daughter. I raised her correctly. Check it out, guys. Come on, man. Look at that. So we're going to get one more guest on because he's OG and we love him and he's been here since the beginning. Galanorian, not because I don't like you. You know I love you. We've talked in the past and stuff like that, but I got to make room for one more. Before I slide you on out of here to get my brother in here, is there anything else you wanted to say? Anything else you wanted to add before we finish up and get this last guest for this last episode of the Bad Batch Breakdown?
No, I appreciate all that you guys do. You guys do some good work over here, put out some good stuff, and I'm really looking forward to season 2 and to the Book of Boba Fett. Like I said, I think there's a lot to. There's gonna be some good stuff coming down the line.
I wholeheartedly agree with you, my friend Gallinor, and I can't even begin to thank you so much for stopping by and joining us. It's been awesome to have you. It's you're in that middle demographic with Josh over there. You young middle age, not quite older guys like me, right? Yeah, see, I'm getting them Josh points. With that, Gallinorian, if we come back for a second season, when we still have to discuss that, we would love to have you join us next year in the chat on the show. If you don't mind, please support it. We love you, man, and please come back if that's the thing.
I'll be looking forward to it.
All right, brother. With that, you enjoy the rest of your weekend, and I'm going to get our last guest in here.
All right.
All right. Take care, brother. This last gentleman has been with us pretty much since the beginning as well. Josh, are you still good to hang out with us? Because I don't.
Yeah,
want to
man, I'm good. I'm
all right,
fine.
cool.
As long as you
Brandon,
don't mind me telling you how old you are. It's okay.
Are
It
you
just makes
kidding?
me feel better about myself because
Look at Brandon and Bailey. They're so happy that there's someone that will make fun of me on their behalf. So,
I mean, what do I have to look forward to? 50? That's half a century, man. What is that? What?
Okay, well, thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. The show's over now. You know what? Let's do this. I'm just gonna bring him in. G-Force in the house. Good to see you, man. G-Unit.
Hey,
Sure.
everyone.
Good to see you, man. Really quick, my daughter is new here. Lane, this is G-Force Racing. He's been with us since the very beginning. He's very supportive. Great Star Wars guy. I mean, just look at the background, right? You guys, come on. That's what I love about this show. No matter what, you get all levels of Star Wars. So, but G-Force, I'll start us off. This season, the whole season as a whole, 1 to 10, where do you give it and why?
Overall, 7. Just because there were so many filler episodes. As much as I like to challenge Bailey,
Who doesn't want to challenge me at this point?
just for fun.
Yeah.
Week 17.
A lot of episodes. Yeah, there were a lot of episodes that were just filler, and but I left us high and dry at the end, as my opinion, anyway. But there were some great episodes in there. The Cad Bane and what's her name?
Fennec Shand.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a fantastic episode. Animation is incredible. So I love the series, but I think they can do better in the storytelling.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, we're coming up on the 2-hour mark here, G-Force. I appreciate you coming in. You're not going anywhere. So I'm going to ask everybody one question, and we're going to kind of go around and have everybody kind of give their answer. And I'd like to start with Brandon up here, because Bailey and I decided that when we were going to do this show, Brandon was the one that we wanted to drag in and drag down this set of railroad tracks with us. So Brandon, I was going to say character, but let me put it more broad like this. And the rest of you think about this question as I ask it. What was the one? I know. But you've put up with me for this long. You didn't think I was going to end now. What was the best aspect, not character, the best aspect of the Bad Batch Breakdown season 1? The best thing they did. What you got for me, man?
Turning the chapter on the prequels to what is coming in the future. And, I especially seeing Kamino just go down and then taking God, now I want to say Llama Stew. Damn you.
Nala say. Yeah.
Nala say, yeah.
Yeah.
Especially at the very end saying, like, the Empire has plans for you. And it's the same patch as the doctor that we see in The Mandalorian. Yeah. It's that everything is going to tie into it. So that when we were talking about Star Wars being a generational thing, they are giving us the option to watch something and then say, everything that's happening here, you can watch this and it'll tie into it. So like my mom, who raised me on the OT and watched the prequels with me, bless her soul, she hates Jar Jar Binks. She could not stand Attack of the Clones, but then I watched it with her after I understood what was going on, and I was explaining things to her, and she's like, that was so much more enjoyable, thank you. And she watched The Mandalorian with me, and she even watched The Bad Batch, and then she got busy, but then she was like, we should really watch that together. And like we'll probably end up watching Clone Wars or Rebels together too, because she still very much loves Star Wars, but it's not necessarily her thing. And I think that's what they do so well, is tying in enough that you don't necessarily need it, but it makes you care enough that you might want to go back and see, what else Star Wars has had to offer.
That's a great answer, Brandon. And you accidentally said something that I don't think you really articulated in a very specific point, is this is something you can do with your family.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Speaking of family, Lane, I know you're new to the panel because I just kind of, drafted you in a little while ago, but since you've watched the whole season now, what was the one thing that the Bad Batch season 1 did well that you liked? Aspect, character, something.
I would say honestly in the very beginning episodes, when we got to see like the Order 66 happen from like the clones' perspective and from the the Bad Batch's perspective, because they were different. Hey, my cat's trying to leave now. And that's always something I've been so curious about, because we've seen snippets of it from so many people's different perspectives. The movie gives you one thing, and then the last season of Clone Wars gave us something different. And then if you read Ahsoka's book, there was like a smidgen of it in there. And so it was really, I liked seeing more about the clones and like their personal conflicts, especially with the clones for my brain.
Well, you are related to me.
Yeah, so Hera's father, and I can't think of what his name is right now, and how he was still loyal to him even though the Empire, this, that, and the other. And so that's why I commented, that like we don't see the heart in Crosshairs that we see in a lot of the other clones, because some of those other clones built like real relationships and had this like sort of family dynamic, and they were only supposed to be like just pawns in a game, really. So I really love seeing that. It reminds you that these clones were real people, in the world. They were real, and they had feelings, and they had real connections, and the Empire just kind of thought like, oh, they'll just follow us when we switch it all over and we can just wipe them out, and who cares? And so to see like other ones that come in, not just Rex, because we always knew he would be fighting, if you will. Mm-hmm. Right. But to see those other ones that are like, no, I'm not going to stand for this, was really cool, and I liked that.
Nice. That's a good answer, Lane. I was already proud of you, but wow, I got you on this live stream to show you off, and you did a good job. So, Bailey, the one good aspect that they did in season 1 here that you just really, kept you coming back, besides the show.
I think they really did a good job showing the transition of the Republic to the Empire. And just like little changes throughout each episode, like just the way the clones, the armor looked over time, and then transition from clones to regular people. Really enjoy that, just seeing that transition. And I think that was like the appeal. It was the appeal to the show to me, to see that part of Star Wars history, how they came to be. Hello there.
So, Matt's back. Sorry about that, Bailey. Matt's back. But
that was it. They did the transition well.
Mm-hmm. Excellent. You know what? That was one of the things, I know Brandon and I agreed on this specifically. That was one of the things that I was looking forward to seeing in this, the transition, especially from a military mindset. I know Matt understands what I'm talking about, this, how you get all of these guys to be those guys, if you know what I'm talking about. But Josh, over to you, sir. The one thing that they did well with season 1 that just really impressed you or that you really liked?
Well, I think that, I agree with what everyone's saying, that all of those things were very well done. And I think through how well they did those things, they really illustrated kind of a reality lesson about life, and that it's not black and white, that we all kind of exist in the gray, that everything we do is based on experiences and the situations that we're in, and necessities, and wants and desires and prejudices and all kinds of different random things that influence all of us, and I feel like even though it wasn't like a direct smack you in the face message, I think if you read between the lines, you see that reality within the story that's being told, and I greatly appreciated that about it. I know that's kind of a little more mature than it would seem on the surface, but I think that the fact that they even could get that across shows the depth of the storytelling that's going on, and makes me even more hopeful about what there is in the future.
You know what, Josh, I wholeheartedly agree with you on that. We've talked about this on this show. At times, it was pure fun, but at times they really hit some important life lessons and some in-depth things. You're like, this is a cartoon? So I completely... I completely agree with what you're saying. And that's an excellent observation. G-Force, over to you, sir. You know the question. What's the one thing they did well with the season 1 that you like that will bring you back for season 2? Uh-oh.
Nailed it.
Uh-oh. Yeah.
Completely nailed the point.
Yeah. G-Force, I think your mic is going or something. We can't hear you at all, man. Yeah. Okay. So is any amongst you a professional lip reader? Yeah, because poor G-Force's mic is,
I'll tell you, I didn't realize how much I rely on reading lips when everybody started wearing masks.
Fair enough. G-Force, hang out. We'll try you one more time. Yeah, do that. Yeah, get the Iron Man. So I tell you what I'm going to do, G-Force. I'm going to go over to Matt, and then I'm going to ask him the same question. We'll try you again, G-Force, but just so you know, your connection, unfortunately, is kind of falling apart on us. But Matt, over to you, sir. The one thing that they did with season
nailed
1.
it. I really can't follow that up.
You can't. You really can't. Can you? I mean, come on, man.
I think a lot of it. You saw some worlds that we just. Oh God, I can't look at the screen.
Yeah, don't do it, man.
You look at what they, places we went. You saw watching. You have this young empire taking over. You're seeing these things, the bigger universe, the stuff that Brandon and Bailey wanted to see more of, and the episodes where they showed that, you could tell because that's the ones they rated the highest. I liked seeing a lot of that. When you start seeing, you have these guys that, these soldiers, the clones themselves, just the Bad Batch, they're trying to find their way in this. They know what the Empire's doing is wrong. And you saw that in the first episodes. Why are we killing these Jedi? We've been working with these guys. And so, it was neat seeing some of the cameos, when you see Rex or, they're starting to bring in other people. I mean, you saw the Pike. So, that kind of opens the door to see Maul down the road. Or, or even Crimson Dawn or something like that. You're going to maybe seeing them go that route where they're going, they're going to go more towards like the more quote unquote criminal element, the smugglers and everything else. So you start seeing stuff like that. I'm looking forward to stuff like that. I mean, but there's also the bigger issues too. I mean, like I said before, next season, they're going to have several episodes of, the battle for Crosshair Soul,
right?
So, what is Nala Se doing on? I'm going to call it Wayland until they call it something else.
Yeah, there you go. I've heard that too, Wayland.
So it's what's going on there. I mean, I've already heard they're trying to say that's where Grogu is. They're experimenting on him. I'm like, I don't know if I go that far,
right?
But I wouldn't be surprised. They're gonna. I think, like I said, you're gonna see these. There's gonna see connective tissue through all of these Disney Plus shows, and they're gonna tie into the sequel trilogy. They're gonna lay that groundwork for the sequel trilogy.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's obviously the same group that Dr. Pershing works for in The Mandalorian.
Exactly.
He's got the patch on the sleeve.
Vibe.
So there's definitely a connection there.
Yep, for sure. You guys, especially Josh, Matt, still here with us. Lane, obviously, she knows this. Everybody that has joined us. Wow. This has been so much fun. I don't even know what to say. The whole thing is, you know, it started off as a silly idea, like me and Brandon and Bailey, let's get on YouTube and talk about some stuff. And it just turned into a much bigger monster in a positive way. And I've gotten to know Matt much better. Josh, you and I have gotten to know each other much better. Hell, I finally get to see my daughter after months of COVID lockdowns and stuff like that. So this whole thing has just been great. With that, Josh and Matt, I'm gonna go ahead and kind of slide you guys out of here because we're gonna wind this down really fast. But before I get you out of here, Matt, was there anything else you needed to say? Anything else you wanted to say before
No, I'm good. I was just thanks for having me on. It was a lot of fun. You know,
you've been one of our earliest
talk.
You're right. Yeah, exactly. You've been one of our earliest and most prodigious supporters. I learned to wait on the comments. So
sorry about that.
No. Brandon, go tell him.
No, it's awesome. We love hearing, we love being able to see what other people are thinking with that. And then it oftentimes changes how we see something. And that's, I think, the greatest thing about this is, you know, Josh, Matt, Chris, Seth, all bring up things that make us think in a different way because they notice something that we don't, or they say it in a different way that makes us really notice it. So we absolutely appreciate the comments.
Well, many of the truths we cling to all depend greatly on our point of view.
This is what happens when you get old people a mic. Bailey, before I kick Josh and Matt out of here, is there anything you needed to say?
No, I without copying and pasting what everyone else has been saying, because you know it has been a fun and very interesting ride. You know, this is like the first time I've really discussed Star Wars with other people. I did not come from a household where that was. I mean, like we watched Star Wars, but they would never have a conversation with me about it. And it's not something I really talk about in the public. That's why my coworker that came on earlier is so unique. Is that it's just something that I have my tattoo and all, but like it's just not something I really talk about with people because you never know what you're gonna get. So it's been fun being able to be on this platform and to be able to, as I was expressing with Lane earlier, is like it's been fun kind of being like a female voice in this because you don't see a lot of it. You know, you look up any Star Wars breakdown, anything, the chances of you seeing another lady up there is very slim. And so it's been very fun, and I've met a lot of cool people doing this on all sorts of social media platforms. We've had a very good audience. I think we're very lucky to have gotten that kind of audience instead of, you know, a more malicious one, I should say. So it's been fun, and I'm very grateful for it. And yeah, it's been more than what I was expecting.
Nice. Matthew, you've been awesome, my brother. I'm going to slide you up on out of here so we can start winding this down, though. You cool with that?
Yep, I'm great. You guys, thanks a lot for having me.
Don't be a stranger, man. I'll be on your channel. You be on mine. We'll see you soon. All right, brother. Take care. Josh, I was actually looking forward to this last stream for a bunch of different reasons, all of them tied, and one of them was the possibility of having you on tonight, and I mean that sincerely. Thank you for coming.
No, thank you very much. It was an absolute pleasure. I was very much looking forward to being. I run a movie theater. I work on Saturdays, and we actually had some big openings this weekend. And I told them they needed to deal with it because I was taking Saturday off so that I could be on this because that's how much it meant to me. You know, I love that you guys have given us this platform to really share our love for Star Wars or our distaste for Star Wars or whatever it might be.
Right.
You know, we can be frustrated or we can praise it all day, and being able to come together and do that and appreciate one another's opinions and maybe even enlighten each other on other ideas it's a wonderful thing. It's what it's all about. So thank you.
You know, so I'm, as I've discussed, I'm a wordy narcissist, but this kind of response, especially from guys like you, Josh, has kind of left me speechless, and I appreciate that, man. Thank you very much for being here for us. And
pleasure.
I can't believe you took off work. Wow. Brandon,
I hope they don't watch this. I mean, but I want them to watch this.
Oh my God!
As long as my boss does it, we're good. So
there you go. My wife sent me something earlier. It's a picture of Kermit the Frog, and he's like, "I'm sorry, I'm late to work today. I forgot to set my alarm because I didn't want to come here." So yeah. Oh my God, Josh, thank you so much, man. Don't be a stranger. We'll see you on other streams. And we will definitely see you around. But I cannot believe you took the night off to be with us here tonight. So
I'm going to be back for season 2, right? Because you guys are going to be back, right?
We got Bailey and
pressure.
Brandon and I. Yeah, no pressure. We definitely have some. Definitely have some discussions about what's next for the three of us. That's for sure. But you've been here since the beginning, and I appreciate it, Josh. Thank you so much.
No problem. Thank you.
I'll talk to you real soon, hopefully.
Bye, guys.
Thanks, Josh.
Later. Lane, you're last. Actually, we're gonna do this. I'm gonna break protocol here because I was winding us down, but I cannot ignore this guy. Dino.
Yeah. So what happened? I missed the last episode.
You popped in right at the end, brother. We're winding it down,
Yeah.
but I couldn't leave you out. I've never got a chance to talk directly to you. Man, good looking fit guy. Had to have you on really fast before we go. Real
Awesome.
quick, 1 to 10 on the season, brother. 1 to 10 on the season.
I actually enjoyed the first episode, but the best thing about it is this guy.
Oh my God, where's Left Coast when you need him, right?
He was always my favorite character, action figure when I was growing up. So when I saw him on screen, I gave it a 10.
All right, fair enough. Dino, I just got one question for you because we really got to start winding this down. First of all, thank you for coming by and being here with us on our finale. But yeah, see, I'm not even going to do that because look, my sleeves aren't even tight enough. So.
We all have to do that. Everybody.
All right.
1, 2, 3.
You got to get involved. Come on, guys. There you go. Look at my daughter's skin. Yeah, there we go. So point of the fact here is these two over here, I can point the right way. It's that way. Those two that way, you guys, we don't want to upset them because Brandon and Dino can handle us stuff. But Dino, thanks for stopping by real quick, man. There was no way I was going to get out of here without it. I have one question for you, though, sir.
What's that?
If Brandon and Bailey and I come back next season, are you going to be back with us in the chat and in the comments and stuff?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
Awesome.
Sold.
Awesome.
Well, we'll definitely use that. I'll definitely use that as an argument to strong arm these two into coming back and dealing with my BS for another season. What do you think, brother?
Awesome. Sounds good.
Okay. Thank you for stopping by right at the end, Dino. I enjoy watching you on the peg warmers and stuff like that and get a kick out of the fact that you can be part of different worlds and it's all awesome.
Absolutely. We are all geek strong.
Yes. All right, man. I will see you soon, hopefully. I'll see you around.
All right. Peace out.
All right. Take care. Okay, now your last lane. And I tell you what, I'm just so excited to see my daughter. Look, come on, see come on, man. Like, right, Bailey? How can you? I can't get rid of that.
I'm excited because the person I interacted with her not via text, so this is nice.
Right, and we won't get into it, but you guys have a lot more in common than you know, I think, or maybe you do know because you guys were talking behind my back. So.
Let's start pulling out the moose apart dialogue now.
Oh, right. Yeah. I just wanted to take this opportunity. Lane, hang out. Are you in a hurry to leave? Okay. I just want to take this opportunity. Brandon, Bailey, you know what? Let's do this. We'll put the Taylors down below. There we go. Brandon and Bailey, I wanted to, now that we're coming to the end of our first season, this has been an experience for me. It's been a positive experience. It's been a wonderful. That's not just the whiskey talking, okay? I'm actually sober again. But anyway, I cannot believe the response we got when we started this, and it's just been better ever since. You guys have been awesome. Thank you for putting up with me. Thank you for jumping through my hoops with the silly questions. Thank you for coming back every week, having a great sense of humor with all the ridiculous things that I've done. And it's been, I don't even know the word. It's been much more than I ever thought it could be. I just thought it was just going to be us selling here. So I wanted to tell you guys, Brandon, Bailey, heartfelt thank you for doing this with me. It has been a wonderful experience. And I'm just rambling on now, and I'm already emotional because my daughter's here, so I'm going to stop. I'm just so excited to see her and to have you guys. Brandon, before I start winding us down, what you got, brother? Anything else before we just basically call it for months on end here?
No, this really was an awesome chance to talk Star Wars with people that I've
she does.
that I look forward to talking every week, and it's crazy that it's been 15, 16 weeks now at this point. Like I was like, oh my goodness, we started May 4th. Actually the week before, because
the
we
week
did
before.
November.
That's right. Yeah.
So I was like, wow, it's honestly been months, and it seeing some of these messages right now that have popped up, and especially like the last episode that we did, where people clearly appreciate this and they can have somewhere to go talk Star Wars without being told they're an idiot, or with that kind of stuff. It really is special, and I'm glad that you guys asked me to be part of it.
Absolutely. We had one. It was a list of one. Bailey, am I lying?
No, it
Yeah.
was literally, and I'm telling you, I can like hear this, like it felt like that conversation happened like yesterday. I remember clearly, like I met Paul, we were talking, he realized how much of a geek I was, and then he's like, okay, I think we got to do something about this, and he brought up your channel, Brandon, and he's like, I think you need to check. Like, I think you and this guy would have a great conversation together. And I'm like, yeah. And so, like, I literally, I got home, I looked up your channel, and I watched a couple of your videos, and I was like, Paul, like, yeah, I think you're right. I think this is a guy I would have, like, really fun conversation with. Like, we're kind of on the same wavelength, in a lot of ways. And then this show Paul immediately, like, proposed this idea of, like, well, I have this idea. We have this bad show. Like he just starts talking to me about this show, and I was immediately just like flattered that he would like want to do that and put the time and effort and the technology, and I mean just him having me over to like film the other videos we've done. It's just been such an honor. So it was like, yeah, like let's do it. Like this would just be for fun. I thought nothing of it. Like if anything, I knew I was gonna gain another friend, and we would just have an opportunity to talk Star Wars and do something so special together. Because like I said, I've never really had that opportunity to talk about this stuff with other people, so it's been lovely. And then it just turned into something big, larger than what I was expecting. Like I said, I've met so many amazing new people, and I'm just so grateful for it. It's kind of a beautiful story of just like how, like, from my first encounter with Paul, this idea just was like already in the works, and it happened, and here we are, months later. I don't have the words. It's been a fantastic ride, and I'm just, like I said, I'm just so grateful to be a part of it. And for the people who have been on this platform before me have received me warmly, for the most part, despite the conspiracy theories we see. But it's been wonderful, and I wouldn't take anything. I don't regret it. Like I wouldn't never trade this for anything else.
Lane, I know you haven't been with us here, actually, at all until tonight. But this experience only for you, Lane. Did you enjoy what you got to be a part of here tonight? What did you think?
Well, I mean, for my entire life, it's mostly just been you and I going back and forth about Star Wars, Avengers, and your brother joining in and filling me in on all of the Avengers stuff and MCUs, the whole, right? So like it's just been you and your brother that I could nerd out to, and then my mom was Star Trek. So I like kind of like Bailey was saying, I don't talk to other people about it because they look at me and they're like, what do you even know about it? I'm like, I read the books. Like, I know stuff. Okay, I've watched all the movies. I know things. I talk to people. Leave me alone. So I guess I never thought that there would be like a place for me either. But then like talking to Bailey and like seeing that you had her on here, I was like, oh, okay, like maybe I could do it. That'd be cool. So yeah, I'm really happy that I got the chance to be on here. I really appreciate it. want to like info dump to other people about Star Wars, and then they look at me like I'm crazy. And they're like, "Why do you know so much?"
Right.
That's a lot. Like, can you chill? Let's dial it back. I've never watched the movies, and I'm like, no. Okay, but what if? And then tangent, you know. We're like, no, I don't even know that character's name. This is really nice to be in a community where I can, like, when I remember them, say the names, and people are like, oh yes, I see the connections you're making there. Like, I get it. So it's nice. It's very nice. And I like to see that it's like a pretty positive. Like, I know that you and I don't talk a lot about your videos, Dad, but like I do like creep on your videos and like look in the comments to make sure that people aren't being like mean to you, because I know that some Star Wars fans can get really picky if you say something wrong. And so I'm like looking in the comments being like, are they being mean to Dad? No, all right. No, he handled this one well. Okay, so like you don't know it, but I'm in there.
Oh my God.
Well, we're afraid of being Lane, so if anyone said anything outlandish to anybody on camera, yeah, like I'm like the official complaints department, like.
Yep. Oh yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Space Druid, just that, male or female. If you want to talk Star Wars, the only thing I'll say beforehand is, do you really have time for this conversation? There you go.
Seriously.
I think that sums it up with all four of us in this chat. That's good point, Space Druid. Well, Lane, this was an unexpected surprise. She and I were just literally talking. I think, was it yesterday, Lane, or earlier today?
Yesterday.
And I was like, yeah, well, come jump on really fast. And I got this great idea to just hijack her ass and keep her here. And it's actually turned out to be well. You guys can tell when you watch her, she's definitely her father's daughter with the goofiness. So in a good way. I mean, in a good way. Luckily, she got her mother's looks, though, G-Force, which is accurate because, you know, but anyway.
I know G-Force coming in hard tonight.
Yeah. But you know what? He is accurate. That don't make him right, but he is accurate. So
You hear him.
Right. I didn't plan for this, you guys. I don't know how to end this. I don't know how to finish it up. It's like letting, and there's a possibility that we'll be back, but it's like sending a loved one off on an overseas trip, or even possibly sending them away for good, because it's coming to an end for at least a bunch of months now. And it's oddly, it's affected me a little bit more than I thought it was going to, you two. So it's been a great run. We've had a lot of fun. Brandon, I've loved having you on here. Bailey, I've loved that we had an opportunity to find something that we could do together that was easy, especially based on my limits of technology. And then just, you know, that's been the greatest cake ever. And then we get the icing. My daughter shows up tonight and wants to be a part of it with us. I mean, come on, man. How could a guy ask for anything more, you know, when he's coming to the end of life, Josh, when he's this old, right?
Did you drink tonight?
Yeah.
I'm not, no. My daughter will tell you, and if you don't believe her, ask Sarah. You guys have seen her in this job. I'm not even close to being intoxicated. I'm just trying to be funny.
You're not funny enough yet.
Love you too. Oh, see, G-Force knows. He knows. See, he did say I was handsome. So there. With that, I'll do a quick roundabout real quick, and then we're gonna bring this to an end. Does that sound fair to you guys? Brandon, last thoughts really fast, just to wrap it up.
It's been awesome. Like it really has. Even when there were episodes where it's like, I don't have much to talk about this week, it was nice to have people who thought similar ways, or, you know, thought differently, and we could be like, yeah, we appreciate that. So it was almost like weekly therapy as a Star Wars fan. So thank you, everybody.
Yeah, that's a good way to put that. Bailey, last thoughts before I wind us down now for good.
Just thank you guys. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for commenting. Thank you for communicating with us on Twitter and other platforms. It's just we can't put it into words, and it's, as we've said many times, we were not expecting anything. Like we would have done this if there was just like one person logging in every week, and we would be fine with it. We were not expecting any of this, and I don't think any of this is going to sink in for several weeks. This might hit me in a month or so, and that like, oh wow, yeah, it's done, and we did that. But just thank you for just, I don't know, like just giving Paul's channel like all the love, and you know, I think this is allowed Brandon's channel to grow too. So just thank you guys. I have the easy part of just jumping on here and just speaking. These guys do all the work, and I'm just grateful that it's seemed to be, this show has done positive things for them. So thank you.
Very well said, Bailey. Lane, you're a de facto member tonight, so I give you the respect and the familial privilege. Anything last thing you want to say before I get us out of here, ma'am?
Well, thank you so much for having me on here tonight as like your little guest star, if you will. You know, we could, I would love to come back. I think, you know, that I got a lot of stuff up here, and you know I got a lot of opinions. I'm related to you. Come on. So
Right, yeah.
both of us have talked for hours about Star Wars. So I would love to come back and do this and be a part of it. So thank you so much for letting me be here and being a part of it. And thank you to the community who has been so amazing, to my dad. I've been watching you. I really appreciate all of the love and attention that your videos have gotten. I'm glad to see that you're doing something fun while you're retired.
Lane, you know, you're my daughter, so I'd love you no matter what. But man, every day, especially now, you remind me why you're one of my best friends, but also my daughter, and why I love you so much. So thank you. All right, Brandon, Bailey, Lane, I don't have the words, so we're gonna do this one more time. And Lane, you have to participate. You don't have a choice. We do the silly thing. It drives Brandon crazy. Bailey just does it because she wants to hang out on Paul's Collectibles and be a part of it. And so now you do too. To everybody in the chat, to anybody watching on the rewind, we've loved each and every one of you for joining us. Everybody who was in the live chat or the live stream with us tonight, thank you so much. This has been a blast. Bailey and Brandon and possibly Lane and I all have some things to talk about after this episode, and we're going to see what's next for us. But for now, we're going to bask in the joy and the excitement of what was an incredibly successful outside of our wildest dreams live stream about the Bad Batch season 1. Thank you all so much, and we are looking forward to possibly seeing you on the next episode. There you go. Take care.